Khan.
Oh, like that really over the top. Now, Captain Kirk, shall we begin? That really,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it would have been apt because of Chris Pine.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God. But hello everyone. How do you do?
Hi.
Oh, Amy, you are slightly low in your voice. Let me boost you. See what happens.
Hello. Do I need to turn the gain up? Hang on a
No,
moment.
no, it's fine. Like I boosted you on my end, so hopefully that'll be fine.
We will.
Yay! And we've got original David back. OD. Hello, good sir. How do you do?
Yay!
Everyone, I'm pretty good, thanks. How is everyone?
Yay.
Still alive.
So, right, just off the bat, I want to say this. If I had known we were going to need 2 streams per film to get through these films, I would have suggested this a while ago. I didn't think we'd spend so much time on the first Wonder Woman.
So much to talk about, apparently.
Ooh. Oh, damn it now. Amy started breaking up.
Oh, for God's sake, Europe, why'd you have to be on fire?
Let's go to the United States. See what happens. Oh, well, I mean, I heard that.
Well, that's good.
Oh my god, that's much better. Let's stay in the
I
US
don't
for
know
the
what's
moment.
going on. Like, Discord keeps going orange and then green again.
I get that sometimes.
It's been doing it for the past couple of days. It was doing it while I was playing Among Us the other day. So, like, while I was trying to defend myself, people were like, nah, she's guilty. And I'm like, no, I'm not! And then I just got killed.
Ooh, do you know what? You're much better now, Amy. Actually,
Oh,
so yeah. United States Central, that's what you need for a good connection.
apparently.
Right-o then. Um, so yeah, hopefully, hoping against hope, we might be able to get through this film in the one stream of podcast rather. But I'm not optimistic considering how long we spent on the first Wonder Woman, and that's supposed to be the
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe we'll just easily whiz through because it'll be like, this makes no sense. Next. This
I mean,
makes no sense.
that was what we
Next.
did in the previous film as well, and it still took us more time than it took for us to go through Bly Manor.
Yeah.
So,
you know, like was it 8 or 10 episodes of Blind Manor? 9 episodes.
9 episodes,
9
yeah.
episodes. Yeah.
9
I'm
hours.
sure we can do it.
But yeah, we went through 9 hours of content in about 6.5 hours, or 5.5 hours, one of the two, and it took us like an hour more to get through Wonder Woman, and that's significantly shorter. So, well, but
I have faith in us.
who knows? Who knows? We might breeze through it,
Yeah.
to be honest. So, but as is tradition, what did you guys watch this week? Tell me, illuminate us.
Who would like to go first?
David.
You can go first. I've already told you 2 things I watched, so.
Yes, but not
Okay.
on the stream. Oh, well, on the
That's
episode.
That's true.
But David.
Okay. Well, apart from the obvious, being Wonder Woman 1984, that we'll get into, I have watched. I've done a rewatch of Parks and Recreation, which was a lot of fun. First season, I still think is pretty shaky, but then it kind of evens out and becomes the hit that we all know that it is right now. And I also gave Dan Harmon's new show, Solar Opposites, a go. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. It's quite a bit like Rick and Morty. I'm not the biggest fan of Rick and Morty. It's all right, but I thought I'd give this a go because it looked kind of interesting, with it being kind of like a family of aliens living crashing down into Earth. And then living about their lives on Earth. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but kind of like Rick and Morty, and kind of take it or leave it. It's all right so far from the 2 episodes that I've seen. And I also started watching Modern Family.
Cool.
Just something to have on in the background, but I'm enjoying it so far. One of the things I like about sitcoms is that I can gravitate towards certain characters. Like on The Office, I gravitate towards Jim or Michael, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jake.
My money's on Cam.
And when it comes to Modern Family, I do like Cam, but there's no one sticking out to me so far yet. Like they're everyone's just kind of like, yeah, good. I like them, but
Jim
no
is
one's
pretty good,
standing out.
actually. The dad of the two girls and the boy with the blonde wife, Jim. I think
Oh
Jim.
yeah, Ty Burrell.
Ty Burrell.
Yeah.
He's really good.
I do like Ty Burrell. He's a really
Like
good
him in
actor,
it.
and I do like him here as well. It's just so far, no one is like, oh my god, I love this character, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
Sweet. And Amy, would you like to regale us once more about your experiences this past weekend?
Yes. I watched Violet Evergarden and it destroyed me. I haven't finished it yet, but it destroyed me. So there's that. I also watched The Wind Rises, which didn't destroy me as much, but also made me very sad at the end. But yeah, it was very good. What else did I watch? I did watch something else.
This.
I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I watched this, but yeah.
I mean, there's also WandaVision.
There was other stuff too. That's what I also watched. I watched WandaVision. Now I'm sad because it's the last next week.
I know. I feel the same way. It's one of those where I'm like, I can't wait for the finale, and then I'm also like, I don't want it to end.
I'm like, but that means no more.
Now you know how every anime fan feels.
I know.
Join the club, bro.
Yeah.
At least you might get a second season.
True. I'm just like wondering like how a second season would work.
I mean,
because that means they'd have to go through a different thing because they've already gone through a bunch of sitcom eras.
I mean, because it's really Marvel and because it's a continuous narrative, the next direct sequel, quote unquote, is Doctor Strange. So
yeah, sure. So that's why I'm kind of like, I would like a season 2, but I don't know if a season would work.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how it would work. At least going off the 8 episodes that we've seen. But I'd be interested. Like I love them as a couple.
Watch it.
I love them as a couple. So if a season 2 were to happen, I hope it wouldn't dilute the show in any way. If you get me. But it remains to be seen, I suppose.
Yeah.
Catherine Hahn is a treasure.
She's very good in that show. I'm excited about the Loki show to come out. Yeah. But that's not till June, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I watched. And this abomination of a film that we're about to talk about.
Wait, are you saying you didn't like this film?
Exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, well, we'll get into that in a moment.
I'll try and be nice to it. No promises.
Why? Don't be nice. It's fine. Give it shit, man. It is tough love.
Yeah.
Well, as far as what I've watched until the next 2 episodes of Attack on Titan, so I'm up to episode 10. 9 and 10, season 4, kind of a mixed bag. I have issues, and one day in the next 5 to 10 years, I may get to Attack on Titan, but who knows, based on how much work I end up doing for each video. But yeah, It's on the docket, but not for years yet. Violet Evergarden takes priority at the moment.
Oh yes.
Which episode 1 of Violet Evergarden commentary might be coming out sometime in March.
Ooh.
So who knows?
I'm excited.
So yeah, when you go through Violet Evergarden, like frame by frame, it just gets better. Like it's great. So it's a welcome change from Enola Holmes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So yeah, Attack on Titan, and then watched episode 5 of Resident Alien, which is delightful. One of my favorite shows this year so far, which is great. Writing's great. Alan Tudyk is phenomenal and really, really funny, which is fantastic.
I love Alan Tudyk.
Big recommendation if you're into comedies and hijinks with Alan Tudyk. So, maha.
I mean, sounds good to me.
Oh yeah, it's on Sky Atlantic for people in England.
Very nice. I'll give that a look.
Wunderbar. And then I watched a Chinese film by Guan Hu called Mr. Six, and it was so cool because it's about a group of old men just trying to fix a son's problem, and it just escalates with every incident. And like, it's so cool because at the core of it, it is like a father and son dynamic, which already I'm down for. You know, so, and then by the end, you're just like, that was a very, very good film. So, yeah, Mr. Six, if you can find it, watch it, it's good. And watch The 800, that's very good too. Same director. So, yeah, that's about all I've watched.
Thanks.
Sweet. So I suppose we can talk about Wonder Woman now.
Let's dive in.
Before we start, though, because besides the fact that we're all not fans of it, I don't think I've actually heard your thoughts on it up until this moment. So before we start the film, talking about it in earnest, what are your thoughts on it at the moment?
Just very honestly boring, and in comparison to the last film, I was like, at least there's bloody set pieces where they're trying. Like this one, I was watching it going, anything happen, please. So yeah, just overall boring.
That's fair.
Yeah.
For me, I really enjoyed the first Wonder Woman movie. It has its problems. It's got some pretty big problems, especially when you get into the third act. But I enjoyed the first film. So before the film came out, I was excited for Wonder Woman 1984. I wasn't blown away by any of the trailers, but I was like, okay, I'm on board for this. This could be fun. And with this film, it's just kind of all over the place, isn't it?
That's a nice way of putting it.
It's just kind of all over the place, and some of the scenes that I actually did enjoy were completely superfluous to the plot, and they could have easily been taken out of the film. They didn't add anything to the film other than, oh, here's another scene.
Yeah.
Here's
a cool thing.
It was very self-indulgent.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the word I would use to describe it with. But yeah, so far I'm agreeing with both of you. Anything else you'd like to add to your statement, David?
And as much as I like the cast, I don't feel as though any character gets a real substantial arc that, feels as though it comes full circle, and you feel like you've gone on a proper journey with them that's really fulfilling. You don't get that in this film.
No.
But yeah, that's ultimately how I feel. It was a disappointment.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of blown away by this film. Probably not for the reasons the film intended, but I was blown away regardless. Because thankfully this wasn't the last film I watched in the cinema, but I was laughing, I was in shock, my mouth was open, and none of them was as a result of the story being engaging. It was just me thinking, wow, they actually did it. So I was more at the film's expense rather than with the film. So, and I think if we were to go off of the previous podcast episodes, our unpopular opinion is that the first two acts of Wonder Woman 2017 are kind of dumpster fires as well. So,
fair enough.
if you watch the streams, the episodes, dude, like, if you want to remain on the camp of, no, it's still decent, don't watch them.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
You might get a bit upset. Like, I went into it saying I'm indifferent to this movie and came out saying no, I actually actively dislike this movie. The more I talked about it, the more I didn't like it, and I was, oh dear.
Yeah, there's a reason it took 6.5 hours to get through.
It was funny because I was just on YouTube one day and I'd already seen that you'd uploaded one, and then I see like part 2 and I'm like, wait, what?
You actually messaged me, didn't you? Like, did you guys talk hours about Wonder Woman? And I was like, yeah, kind of.
I was just kind of in disbelief. I was like, wait, how long was the first part? And then I saw 3 hours, or was it 2 hours or 3 hours?
3.5 hours, like, the first part. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god. And then I see the second part and I'm like, oh my god.
Yep.
So either they really loved it or they really didn't care for it.
Yeah.
So, and that's hailed as one of the best DC films, period.
Yeah.
Not even like of the DC, like one of the best, period. So, well, now we're going to the controversial one, and yeah, this
I
is
feel
gonna...
as well a lot of the DC films at this point are very controversial.
Yeah.
Well,
like maybe Shazam's the outlier, but everything else seems to be like.
But yeah, like rewatching these films is an experience, because I was in the same boat as you, David. Like, having watched it a couple of years ago, like Wonder Woman 2017, I was like, yeah, first two acts were decent, third act kind of fell apart. Rewatching it, I was like, holy shit. Wow. So
yeah, I was unwell last week, so I never got a chance to rewatch the original one. So I haven't actually seen the first one in years. So I'll be interested to give it another look.
Yeah, and if you still like it, fair play. If you want to remain on the camp of you like it, don't watch the episodes we did. Just in case.
Let's get into 1984.
Let's do it.
I mean,
Let's get over it.
I guess I stalled as much as I can before getting to it, so...
Yeah, we have to talk about it now.
So, we start with, I guess, the Amazon Olympics?
Yeah.
Yep. I was very confused. I was like, why are they competing? Are they competing for something? And my question was never answered, unless I just didn't pay attention.
No, it was just never answered, don't worry.
I was just like, okay, sure.
And
you see, I didn't mind that as much. I was more confused. What's this scene's purpose in the story? And that was never answered.
I'm just purely going off when I first watched it, because obviously I was like, I'm guessing it's setting something up. And I was like, okay. So it's setting up her trying to get something she wants by cheating. Okay, that could be interesting. That could character develop her a little bit. But it never does.
Like, as far as its placement, like, it's weird because, like, the entire thing about this first part is the truth and the truth and don't lie, always tell the truth. I was like, oh, okay,
Okay.
I guess this is
Fair.
going to be related to some truthisms in this film. And then no, instead we get like, oh, don't take shortcuts and don't wish
Yeah.
for things. Work hard for it. It's like, oh, okay. Weird. And then we end with,
Sure.
oh, the truth is beautiful. I'm like, what the fuck is this film doing? It's like the opening 10 minutes and the closing 10 minutes are about the truth. And then everything in between is about, oh, wishtisms. And I'm like, oh, okay. Weird choice. Let's see if it pays off. It doesn't, by the way. But yeah, it's Oh, go on.
Sorry. I was just saying, I thought it was kind of cool. It was like, there's all these badass women doing very complicated looking stunts. It was that's all kind of interesting, I guess. But as far as
it was very cool.
I was like, why is this here?
So, I guess I'm going to be the outlier in saying I don't even think what they were doing is cool. I was just thinking it was nonsensical.
It was nonsensical, I agree. I was just like, what is going on? But I was like, that looks very complicated and it'd be cool to be able to do like backflips like that. But then also the CGI looked really weird and janky in this movie.
I felt that way about a lot of the film.
Yeah, it's very weird considering this had a much bigger budget compared to the first one as well.
And a longer development time as well.
True, yeah.
Hmm.
But it's
There were reshoots and stuff though, weren't there?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Like, apparently there was some reshoots, and apparently it didn't test well with screen.
I've heard those reports as well. It wouldn't surprise me if that is the reason why the budget is as high as it is. It really wouldn't. But so we're doing athletic stuff for nebulous reasons. We're guessing it's the Amazon Olympics. Which
also,
fine.
Diana is like 12, 10?
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Women.
But it's like, so usually when there's an Olympics, you get different categories and multiple athletes and various things that you got to do. Here we've got horseback Quidditch, which the rules are very unspecified. So we're just thinking, oh, okay, so I guess ball in hoop, yay. And then we've got swinging from the ropes. It's like, okay, why? And then running up the waterfall, again, why? And then there's this one woman doing cowboy jumps with the lasso, and I'm like, again, why? What is the purpose of all of these things? It's not like doing each of them separately and then having rankings or like
they're all at once.
Yeah, they're all at once, you know? It's just I think the word that a lot of academics use is fucking retarded.
I'm not quite sure that's what they say.
But yeah, this entire sports arena and what they're doing is incredibly unpractical in so many different ways. And the population, I guess this is pre-World War One because there's a lot more women alive now.
Yeah.
But yes, Amy, Diana is around 12 when she is taking part. And you remember in the first film when the Queen was like, no fighting, no athletics,
like,
no training. No.
This one, she's like, go for it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so...
You might die, but it's okay.
Yeah, everyone seems to be on board when it was only Princess Diaries who was on board in the first one. And I'm like, wait, hang on. Why? And let's not even consider the fact that this is a child going up against veteran warriors in their version of Iron Man.
You see, due to the fact that I'd completely forgotten that aspect of the original film, the Diana's mother didn't want her to fight. Considering that I forgot about that aspect of the film, what did stick out to me was the difference in age between Diana and the other competitors, because as great as it is to see Diana overcoming all of these obstacles, and cool, she's Wonder Woman. Well, she's going to be Wonder Woman. That's cool. It's also kind of like, but these are fully trained Amazonian fighters,
and she's a child.
Yeah, exactly. It was very odd.
Like,
it was very strange.
This is the equivalent, all right? So Amy, Mikey's a young man. Now imagine if Mikey was taking on Usain Bolt in a 100-meter dash.
Yeah,
that's basically what they're doing here. And Diana's winning. I'm like, no.
It's like, okay, I know she's Wonder Woman, but come on.
Now,
she's not yet. She's a child right now.
So, silly me, right? I thought what it was going to do was like, oh, look at Diana admiring all these warriors, and this is going to be her inspiration towards asking her mother to wanting to fight. No, apparently she's going to compete with them. And I'm like, oh, sorry for wanting it to make sense, I guess.
The bit where she, like, is basically reprimanded for cheating was weird for me, because I was like, what the...
we'll get to that. I promise we'll get to that as well. Don't worry.
Okay.
Because the obstacle course makes no sense either. So, right. They start... Okay, so when you have an obstacle course, right, you got to do things in steps. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4, and you get to the finish line. This is an obstacle course that takes miles, which I'm fine with. It's like a relay, marathon relay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So, like, you guys remember that point where, like, she is outrunning all the elite warriors, mind you? And, which is totally realistic. But, it gets to the point where they're in the battering ram. What was your first thought when the battering ram came along?
I was like, what's going? What does that do? Why is that there? What the hell?
So what I was thinking was maybe it's to make sure that the Amazonians need to use it to either avoid on the run-up or use it to propel themselves so that they can clear the ring. Because why else would you have that, right? It's like to create an obstacle, to make sure that people are off balance, and to use as a boost to get through the ring, and maybe you win the race that way. But silly me, no. You don't get to the ring till 10 minutes later. No, the purpose was to jump off the edge.
Into the water.
Yes.
I was on the same lines as you, Dylan.
Sorry?
I was on the same lines as you, Dylan. I was watching the film and I was just looking at them, and I was thinking to myself, okay, this is the end of a race. This is going to be the moment that Diana either loses by just missing it, or she's going to win. And then no, they've got to go in the water.
Yeah, and that's
I was
weird.
just really very confused.
Because there were 2 or 3 Amazonians in front of her, and they chose to climb on board the battering ram instead of, jumping off into the water, which they can do. So, that's why I was well confused about it. So, they chose to get onto the battering ram, go all the way back, and then come forward to jump off the edge into the, ocean from a very high point, mind you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that as much because they're Amazonians, but yeah.
Oh, so see, the reason why I mind it is because the distance at which they sank was completely unrealistic, and I was like, no, you're going to go way deeper if you jump from that high.
That's fair.
So, I believe they can survive that. I don't believe that the splash will be that shallow. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you now.
So, oh god, we're not even up to the cheating part yet, and you can tell I have so many issues with this thing. But we are progressing a lot faster than we did with the first film, which is wonderful. And I guess it's because things are happening in a weird way. Things will progress to not happening in the future, so That's
Oh
something
yeah,
to
it
look
gets
forward to.
slower as it goes along.
Oh God, we'll talk about the pacing when we go to the quote-unquote big quotation marks 1984. um, but yeah, next, this is a weird. Okay, so when you guys were watching this, would you assume that they had to go straight from the edge to the horses in as straight of a line as they can so that they can save time? Was that your assumption? I'm curious. Okay, so I'll screenshot and send it to you guys just so you know what I'm talking about. Oh, there it is. Yay! And then... Oh my god, just... Yes. Then... Discord. Hello, sir. Okay, so
I'm just muted, by the way, just one sec.
That's fine, that's fine. I'll talk to David. So, David, would you assume that the quickest way to the horses is a straight line?
Yes.
So, are you as confused as I am when you see that they're coming from the ocean end as opposed to the arena end of the ocean?
Very much so.
So they've had to go out into sea and all the way back in to come for the horses. Like, this obstacle course fascinates me on just how like inefficient it is in its construction. And
very bizarre.
And as someone who's done a lot of sports growing up, it irks me when this happens. But now we come to the most insane part of them all, the horse riding scene.
Yeah.
So she gets on a horse, picks up a bow, and she's ahead of the pack by a significant amount as well. So she's just winning this thing at the moment, just by being a child with assumedly no training if we were to use Wonder Woman Part 1 as canon.
Very true.
But she is so good that she's able to pick up a bow, something very hard to do when you're riding a horse, mind you.
Yep.
Take aim and shoot a tiny fuck-off target with pinpoint accuracy so that the people in the arena know where she is.
Yeah.
Now, some of the best fighters in the world have a hard time doing this with pinpoint accuracy consistently. So I have no problem believing that Amazonians, much better in terms of their skill, have trained for thousands of years. They should be like Legolas, 100%ing their aim. I'm cool with that. But Diana, less so.
Child.
I am much less comfortable with Diana being this good. Like,
yeah,
they retroactive. At least in the first one, they kind of made her fail once when she was training. This one, she's just perfect. And I'm like, how? You actively regressed in ability if we take the first one as canon now. How?
Yep.
This is a funny film. Yeah. Okay, so this is a thing now. They need to shoot the whatchamacallit so that they send the flare up so that the arena knows where they are in the fight. In the obstacle course, rather. Fair enough. Yep. That's fine. I have no issue with how that works. Now, we need to introduce some variables. What if she hits someone else's pin? Oh my. What if she misses? Can she double back? Yeah. Like, can she double back and hit it if she misses the shot? Or does she have to continuously keep going? In which case, like, how will they know? This entire contest is based upon the fact that everyone's going under the what's it called? The truth system? Is that what it's called? Where you just believe someone does what you expect them to believe? Is that what it's called? The truth system?
I'm not sure.
I believe so, yeah.
But yeah, it's like, pinky swear, I took the course as it's meant to be taken. That's essentially what this course is. And I'm kind of flabbergasted that this group of Amazonian women whose sole purpose is to fight on... I'm assuming they're kind of competitive, because, the more competitive you are, the better the fighter you become. So I'm guessing they're competitive, but the rules for this course are so relaxed.
Yeah.
It's, but... yeah. 6 minutes in, by the way. But, yeah, we are going through quite a bit of the course, but thankfully things are happening, which means, we don't have to think about storytisms. It's just how this course doesn't make too much sense. But she's winning handsomely. She's got a really big lead. And,
good for her.
Yeah. Good for her. But, whether it makes sense or not is a different question. But hey, Now, I want you guys to see this freeze frame because it's wonderful. And I want, I'm sending it on Discord. So, I want you guys to tell me the probability of the horse being splattered on the floor when it lands. So
100%.
Quite a large majority.
Yeah. And we don't actually see where the end that she's supposed to reach is. We're just left to assume, it's at some nebulous point. We don't actually get to see the landing point from this angle, and we cut right to her landing. I don't know where any of this is. The framing and the presentation of visual information in this film is absolutely despicable, and this is the first example of it.
It's not good.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but the first film, at least you kind of knew where everything was.
I mean, yeah, I would say the editing was highly more improved in the first one.
So, imagine we lived in a world where, you got better with experience.
That would be nice.
This has done the opposite, yeah.
But, and you know what sucks? This is a fully IMAX shot scene as well, which is why, you got to see more of the screen, more of the epicness. It's just a shame that now the epicness actually makes sense.
Yeah.
But,
just like this shot.
This is filmmaking 101, people. So bad to see it happen.
I'm just looking at this shot and I'm like, right, the trajectory just looks off.
Oh, and that's not all. She manages to hit a pinpoint arrow on her target as well, while in midair, about to land.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That was purely there for the cool factor, and unfortunately it didn't work.
Yes, because if that's the case, we'd all love Zack Snyder films. This is coming from someone who does actually love Zack Snyder films, by the way. But, yeah, it's like you need more than just the cool factor.
Definitely.
What were you saying, David?
Zack loves his cool.
Oh,
He does love his cool.
yeah. Or the Abrams.
Yeah.
He loves his lens flare.
Oh,
He
fucking
does.
hell, yeah. But, yeah. I mean, she's still in the lead, by the way. She is a very, very talented young girl. But, Mommy Dearest is proud that daughter is doing so well in the obstacle course because she is in the lead. But unfortunately for her, she gets...
Branch.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird how...
made me laugh.
Yeah, because her head is in the same level as the horse. So did the horse get hit by the branch as well, or did the horse have the common sense to duck when the branch was there? Like, we don't know what the horse did. All we know was that the horse was having none of it anymore and that he's just out of here. He cares nothing for this girl. He just wants to
like,
end
bye.
the race.
It's like, God, you're such a Mary Sue. Goodbye.
Oh my god, yeah. Jesus. But, and it's retroactively making her a Mary Sue as well. Like, she wasn't this much of a Mary Sue in the first one, but she is now.
Yeah. It's like, screw that. I feel like maybe the filmmakers were like, people, it's been long enough since the first one, people have probably forgotten about it.
You know what the best part was? Just before this film came out, I remember this because I was like, oh, that's cute that you think that. But Patty Jenkins came out and said that she hated the theatrical Justice League because of just how much it deviates from the DC continuity. And then I watched this film, and I'm like, really, Patty? Really? You're gonna say that? You do you, I guess. But sure. Whatever you need to say to yourself. So yeah. She gets tumbled over, and the rest of the Amazonians just kind of go right past her. And she's not happy because she can't win now.
Like, dang it.
But luckily for her, she found a drainage pipe.
And goes, whee! Sliding all the way down it.
Now, my question is, usually drainage is there when primarily in city areas so that the water can be filtered away so that the city doesn't flood or the town doesn't flood. Why is this here in the middle of the mountain?
Because it's in the script.
Or, like, maybe this is a cheater's duct where they just, over the decades or thousands of years, they just carved out this slide so that they can take a shortcut and end the race early. Maybe that's why they introduced the sharpshooter pinpoint things.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a trick for everyone.
Oh my god.
It's just there to see if people will use it, yeah.
Oh.
And I'm sorry, if you're a kid and you go, that's a slide, you're gonna go down it.
Okay, so I was also a kid once. I know it's difficult to believe. You know, most people think I just came out fully formed, but no, I was a child once. And I like slides, but you know what I don't like? Cement and sliding on cement. Because it hurts.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it does sound like a fun time.
But,
Sound.
and I know it hurts from practical experience because I played basketball on cement and I played volleyball on cement, both of which has left multiple scars on me. Sliding down cement would just skin you alive. So Diana should be like Inside Out boy by the time she comes out, with flesh hanging out of her. But movie logic, I guess. Regardless, she does slide.
Amazonian logic as well, maybe.
Maybe.
No, because like they're very vulnerable to physical like wounds.
Yeah, they can get shot.
Like a bullet grazed Diana in the first Wonder Woman, and she had like blood coming out of her from just a scratch. So, and that's not even full on like bullet penetration. A scratch managed to, you know, penetrate her skin. So
that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, like I appreciate you trying, David. I do, but this film doesn't deserve your effort. Let's be honest.
I'm reaching.
I know. Like, and bless her, Ilaria tried as well, and Ilaria was up for doing like all the DC films, but after Wonder Woman, she was like, no, I need to take a break. Like Wonder Woman 1 broke her, so like maybe she might return for one of the next 2 films, but she was like, I've got enough Wonder Woman. I'm not watching it again. I'm watching this one. So I was like, fair enough. You kind of deserve a break.
Yeah, I kind of don't blame her for sitting this one out, because this one is hailed as the terrible one.
Oh, this is like mid-tier bad, by the way. Like, we haven't even gotten to the really bad ones yet.
Oh, no.
So...
Oh, I don't know. I would say this one's really...
Yeah, like we'll figure out which is worse, the first Wonder Woman or this one when we're done going through everything
We need to
sometime in
do
the
a
week.
tier list.
I
Our own
mean,
tier.
I'm positive on the first one, so if I'm negative on this one, I know how I feel.
For now. Like, yeah, because like at the moment, like David's answer is gonna be pretty simple. This is the worst one. But between me and Amy, where is this gonna stack after these two
No
episodes? I'm very curious to find out. But yeah, because of her slide, she missed one of the whatchamacallits, and everyone's wondering, oh no, what's going on? Where is she? You know, it's like everyone's just thinking, oh my god, maybe we were wrong to let a 12-year-old take part in,
Yeah.
Iron Man 2021. But no one's worried just yet, because she caught up with the horse and jumped right onto it. Oh
As
my
you
god.
do.
Now that I'm seeing it, the compositing of this sequence is terrible. You can tell where the green screen was.
I felt that way when it came towards the scene where it's the battering ram swinging backwards
Oh
and
god,
forth.
yeah.
I thought that looked bad.
The CGI in this movie is just so bad. I don't understand how it's so bad, but it is.
Yeah, well,
Don't worry, we've still got later sequences to come as well.
yeah, I mean, we've
Yeah.
still got 2 hours and 20 minutes to go through.
Yeah.
It was a long movie. It felt like a very long movie.
I felt every second of this film, and I was like, I went to get up a glass of water, so I had to pause it, and I was like, holy shit, that's all the time that passed? Oh.
I was just watching it and I was like, surely they must be getting towards the end now. And then it kept going
It just
and going.
never
And I
ended.
was like, oh, surely it's got to be close to it by now. And then I was like, oh no.
No, it just keeps going on and on. But yeah, because she took the shortcut, she jumped on the horse and she's back on the lead. And she's running towards the the circle rather, that she's supposed to throw the spear through, which apparently that was the purpose of the, circle, not to jump through and win the race, but to throw the spear through and win the race rather.
Yep.
I mean, I suppose it makes sense, but still, why the long trip?
Yeah, exactly. And there is no way you're convincing me that this girl, I'm sending the picture for reference, that this girl can throw this spear that far when she's just struggling to hold it. So she was going to lose anyway. But...
But
that's what I thought they were going to do. I thought she was going to throw it and it was just going to miss the mark.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so even though she was doing all of these unrealistic things, maybe the point of it was, no matter how good you are, you can still fail. Maybe that's the lesson here. You
can't have it all.
Fucking hell. Oh, from Star Trek, Captain Picard said to Data this one time, you can do all the right things, but still end up losing sometimes. I thought, oh, maybe that's what they're trying to do. But what actually ends up happening is Princess Diary steps in the way and stops her from doing it altogether.
She's just like, yoink, nope, I like that.
So, yeah, instead, the other two Amazonians win, and Diana's just well confused. She's like, why'd you stop me? And I'm like... and at no point... So here's where I have a big issue with this film as well, because both Princess Diaries and her mother comes along and says... oh, no, not Princess Diaries. Fucking hell. The Princess Bride. Fucking hell, I've been calling the Princess Diaries this whole time.
I've never
Why
seen
you calling her the Princess Diaries?
I've never seen the Princess Diaries, so I was like, oh, I didn't know Robin Wright was in that film.
Oh, she's not. But
That's
yeah,
that's
the
why I
Princess
didn't
Bride.
correct
That's
you.
what I was thinking of. Because I was
That's
thinking.
why I didn't correct you on it. But I was just like, oh, okay, I didn't know she was in that film.
Oh, you should, dude. There are so many princess films. I lose track sometimes. But
I like the Princess Bride though. That's a good movie.
I like the first Princess Diaries and the Princess Bride. So make of that what you
We
will.
should watch Princess Bride one day.
We should.
Yeah, a good film.
If you like the Princess Bride, David, you should definitely watch Robin Hood Men if you haven't watched it already.
Oh my god,
I haven't
yes.
watched that film before.
It's very, very goofy, and
Watch
the humor
Men in
is very
Tights.
similar.
Do it. Do it now. Well, not now, but this week. Watch Men in Tights. But okay, so my big issue with this moment, through to the rest of this scene, is Princess Bride and the mother is saying, "No, Diana, tell the truth. You kind of cheated," and at no point does Diana acknowledge, or even seem to understand that what she did was wrong. Like she's just confused at why she wasn't allowed to finish the race, and I'm like, oh, that's weird considering these two are directly telling you this and you're old enough to understand what to do here. And also, it may have worked better if, as unrealistic as it is, she does throw, and she does get the winning thing, and she does pass everyone else. But they say, "No, Diana, you didn't hit that one. We kind of know you cheated, so we can't give it to you because you didn't fill in the requirements."
Yeah.
Like that would have been something to work off of because. And that's more thematically in tune with the rest of the film, where it's like, don't take the easy way out. Sometimes you gotta work hard instead of wishing for shit. Okay, so that works. But this about the truth and lying is very odd when what she does is kind of it's very balked in its execution because what they're telling and what the visuals are showing are two very different things. It's telling us it's the difference between truth and lies, and the visuals are telling us it's bad to take a shortcut when you really want to achieve something. So there is an aspect
to do with lying.
It's got an aspect of lies there, but that's not the core of the issue. It's taking the easy road. That's the issue here. And you can go the easy road by either lying or telling the truth, but they're focusing on just the lying aspect of it, and that's not what the visuals are communicating. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm one of the people that I'm like, Zach, good director visually, but he needs a good script. Zach's story for the first one is making more sense in comparison.
Yeah.
So weird that I'm actually saying that.
I forgot he contributed to the story on the original.
He
wrote it, didn't he? And just Patty Jenkins just directed it.
Yeah,
the first
one. This one, Patty Jenkins.
This one,
did
she was
story
like, "I'm gonna
writing.
be a screenwriter." Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird because she kind of helped write Monster, but where that talent went, I don't know. But yes, regardless, we went through the first 10 minutes of the film, and because we have seen it, where do you guys stand on when it comes to these first 10 minutes? Everything to do with Amazon. Like, where do you two stand on it?
Just
honestly,
really.
Sorry, Amy.
It's okay. I was just thoroughly confused, and I see what they were trying to do, but I just don't think it was. I genuinely don't think this scene was even needed. It doesn't really add anything to the film as a whole, or even set anything up really.
I concur.
I completely agree with you. To be honest, I get where you're coming from by the logistics of the course and how things don't make sense because They don't really. But funnily enough, it's one of the sequences in the film that, just mindless fun in a way. Like I was like, oh, okay, this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening. But by the end of the sequence, you kind of like, wait, okay, I wonder what this is setting up for the rest of the film. And then as the film goes along, it quickly becomes apparent that nothing was really set up, and the scene didn't really need to be there. It was completely superfluous. And if you took the film, if you took the scene out of the film, nothing about the rest of the film would change. It would just be a shorter film.
Fun fact, apparently Warner Bros. Didn't like this opening either because Patty Jenkins had to fight to keep it in.
Wow, like, I agree with the studio here.
So, yeah, she's actively fought to put this nonsensical scene in a movie.
Like, see, that's why I really get the feeling that that's why I said at the start, before we started talking about each of the scenes in tandem, like, this film is very self-indulgent. And I think the opening 10 minutes of all the Amazons doing their tismic shit is an example of that overindulgence of, filmmaking prowess, quote unquote, if that's the way of describing it. Because you know how when a director goes overboard and says, I want this in because I want it in, and for no other reason than that, because like it may have taken a while and it's a good shot and stuff like that, but it really contributes nothing, but the director really likes that aspect of the film.
Oh, the fun thing, the excuse that she comes up with is why you needed that shot in there is, and I quote, I'm reading an interview about it, is she basically says, the reason I realized that you need the Amazon is because you do that thing where you're like, wait, you have to remember that all the people who haven't seen the first Wonder Woman will watch this on a plane, and suddenly she's saying she's basically saying if you didn't have this scene in, it's super hard to understand who Diana is and what's going on. And it's like, no, it's not.
No, because the film hasn't started yet. Like, we're an hour into our conversation and we still haven't started the film technically.
Oh, I mean, I'm trying to understand her logic here, but it's like that scene that tells you nothing about Diana as a character.
Like, if I was to try and attempt to figure out what it's about, maybe it's trying to set up a character default in her that says, oh, she's too focused on the winning aspect rather than the journey to get to the victory. Like, at a stretch, I can maybe attribute it to that, but it's never covered in the film, so I'm not giving it that benefit of the doubt.
If it sets stuff up, fine, but it doesn't.
From the way that I saw that quote when I read it, I think I saw that in an article when the film first came out, and the way that I saw the quote was that she wanted audiences who hadn't seen the original film to understand where Diana came from in the original film, which is why this scene takes place in Themyscira, and you have Robin Wright and Connie Nielsen from the first film, and I just don't see why it was needed, to be completely honest. Like, I understand what she's saying, but it's one of those where it's like, this is Wonder Woman. Like, this is Wonder Woman, and sure, I don't doubt that there are a lot of people who haven't seen the original film, but at the end of the day, she's also an iconic character. Like, people may not know exactly where Wonder Woman comes from and who certain characters that she relates to in the comics and in the films. But at the end of the day, she's also part of DC's trinity of Batman, Superman, and herself, Wonder Woman. So I don't really think the sequence was needed, and nor was it necessary going by the rest of the film.
Absolutely. No, and also,
definitely not.
this film takes place 70 years after the first one. Whatever connection you may have, aside from, Chris Pine, there is no other relation to the original film anyway, so this is essentially a fresh slate, quote unquote.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you have pictures of the friends from the original film towards the beginning when Diana's in her apartment, but like you said, apart from that, it's completely a separate film aside from Chris Pine.
Yeah.
I feel like she went, crap, there's no Themyscira in here. Need to put that in. And then when the studio were like, take it out, she was like, no, keep it in.
In a really weird way, David, you would understand the reference because I know you've seen it, but you remember in Alpha, the cute dog or prehistoric film.
Yeah.
You know how the beginning of it was the hunt, and then they go back to the village and go back to the hunt?
Yeah.
This feels like that opening where it feels like a studio note, only here it was Patty Jenkins' note.
Yeah.
She can't blame studio appearance for this film being bad because she fought them and won because she got to keep the scene.
Yeah, and plus let's be honest, she probably did have a lot of pull with Warner Brothers as well because her film is the only quote unquote successful DC film in the past 10 years.
Yep.
Also made a lot of money from what I remember.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's quite strange as well because it's kind of like the mirror image of the first film because in the original film she had to fight for the trench sequence, the no man's land sequence, which in my opinion is a really good sequence. Whereas versus this one doesn't need to be in the film. And in the first film, I was really glad that they included the no man's land sequence because it was really good action beat. Whereas this sequence, this Olympics in Themyscira, it adds nothing to the plot, and yet she fought for it, and I really don't understand why.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it went to her head a little bit, creative control and all that, and she was just like, "Nope, I want it because I want it."
It's like if this was the first. It's like if this was the first Wonder Woman film, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we've got to include Themyscira in some way so people understand where she's coming from." I'd be like, "Okay, this is the first Wonder Woman movie. Then yeah, sure, fine." But this is while there's not a lot connecting this film to the original, it's still a sequel. So it's like you've got that film as reference, and
you could.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just like you could still set up who Diana is as a character. You don't need to see where she came from to do that.
I was actually going to say the same thing. You don't need, even if this was the case and this was the first film in this, well, it's going to be a trilogy. So in this trilogy, if this was the first film, I would argue for this film as it is constructed, you could still get away with not showing Themyscira at all, and instead just relegating Themyscira to conversations, because that in itself will make the audience go, "Ooh, I wonder what it's like over there." That'll get the theorizing going, and if you do decide to show it later on down the line, you have the option of doing so. Whereas here, it's here for reasons.
The only thing that I can really think of that it might add to the plot in any way, shape, or form is that you've got a statue of the golden armor, Asteria's armor. Even then, I'm stretching because
they refer to it
make
many
any
times
reference
afterwards
to it in the sequence.
It's like, look, there's a statue over there. They talk about the statue over there.
It's very fresh in my mind, and yet I've forgotten a lot of it.
I forgot that happened at the start. So later in the film, when it comes up again, I was like, was this mentioned before?
It
was mentioned before.
And this film has a lot to take in because there's so much going on. I can't, even though I watched it earlier today, I can't quite remember. Yeah. Do they reference Asteria in the opening sequence? Because I know there's definitely the statue. I know
Yeah,
there's definitely the statue, but
not
do
by
they actually
name.
name her?
No, they just talk about her being like a great hero. They
Mm.
don't talk about Asteria or anything like that until later in the movie.
Yeah, because they've got that scene with her and Steve where
Yeah.
he sees the armor all covered up and the whole lasso of truth scene, and then obviously end credits. But I couldn't quite remember whether they brought her up specifically.
Do you know what?
Yeah, they don't at the start though.
I actually kind of wish Ilaria was here right now because I remember in our second year when we were making our film and working on Polaroid, we had this issue where there was a fantastic shot we had, but thing is, if we included that shot in Polaroid, it would break continuity and it would make things make less sense than it already did because it was a pretty complicated script. But it would make it would break the scene in a fundamental way. But it was a fantastic shot. So everyone was like, oh, fucking hell, I want it though. It's so good. But it would break the scene in so many ways, and we can't repair it that way. So at the end of the day, everyone was heartbroken, but we chose to chop that segment. And the film made more sense. So I wish Ilaria was here because she was the one who ultimately edited that film. But that's just an anecdote of why sometimes, no matter how much you want it, it just makes more sense to cut it. I mean, we had to cut stuff from Chrysalis, and it still ended up being the longest film we submitted. So,
yeah.
We were not afraid to make. Sorry.
It's. I think the saying is you kill babies or something.
Oh yeah, it's like you gotta kill your babies when you're editing. And here's me
kill
like with the mallet going, bring the next baby. Come on.
Kill your darlings. Is that the quote that you...
I think so.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm not sure.
Kill your darlings, kill your babies, one of the two.
Basically, you see it as your baby, don't you? So it's kind of hard to want to cut things out of it, but you kind of have to.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, and it's...
Like, she was just not willing to even consider why it was not wanted to be included. I feel like she went, no, I want it in. Don't care. Keep it in.
Yeah. But I would have been okay with it if things made sense, but it didn't even do that, so that's why I'm extra harsh on that segment. But
That's fair.
yeah, we're 11 minutes in, by the way, and we've been going for over an hour.
Fantastic.
We are going to have to do this in 2 parts, aren't we?
We are probably going to have to. But,
Should we jump to 1984?
We are now in 1984, finally.
1984. Yay!
It only took us half... I was just going to say, it only took us half an episode of WandaVision, but hey, we're finally at the title.
Woo!
Did anyone else find the sound effect that came with the title kind
comical,
of jarring, weird?
Yeah,
hilarious. Yeah, it was very weird. And also, I found it very weird that there were no 80s songs in a movie about 1984.
Oh my god,
That's a good point.
There was one song from Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and that was during the party scene, and never again. I was so fucking confused why they didn't use any 80s songs.
I remember they had was it Sweet Dreams, that song in front of a trailer, and I thought that was going to be in the original film because it made sense.
I can't remember the trailer.
I don't think I ever watched any of the trailers.
But yeah, I probably should have thought better, but I kind of expected it to actually be in the film. But yeah, it is weird that there were no songs in the actual film apart from the Frankie Goes to Hollywood song.
Yeah.
But when we get to that point, I will highlight the perfect opportunity for an 80s song as well. But we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So, and who knows? We could get to it this episode, maybe the next episode, maybe in 10 years when we finally get to that point in this film based on how long we're taking. But yeah, now we've got this quirky little like. Okay, so as far as the entire film is concerned, these next 5 minutes include, or 10 minutes rather, going all the way from the woman jogging to the mall sequence, is the most we get of the 80s in this film set in the 80s.
Yep.
It's almost like.
I have to agree.
Yeah, it's almost like they said, okay, we have this much of the 80s, so we need to cram it all into the beginning so that we can actually focus on, the rest of the film. And I'm like, but it's in the 80s, man. Like
this entire sequence is rather weird to me because it feels kind of family friendly, and then you get to the rest of the film and it's really dark and grim. And
this part of the movie felt very campy in an attempt to be like 80s movies.
It's a caricature of the 80s.
Yeah.
And very much it kind of felt like a Saturday morning cartoon vibe more than anything else.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely got that vibe.
Especially in the shopping mall.
Oh yeah. Fucking hell, we'll get to that in a moment. But like because a lot of the physics that happens leading up to the mall, where there's the car being spun round because Wonder Woman kicks it, like based on that velocity and based on how hard she kicks that car, either the car will be in pieces or there would be a lot more casualties. But nothing's happened, almost like a Saturday morning cartoon where, hey, we can't have violence there. And then right afterwards...
Oh my god,
Go on.
I was just going to say, the acting of the guy is very cartoonish. Oh, car!
God,
sorry, I'd be horrified and terrified. A lady just kicked my car, like it was nothing, like it was a football. Like, I'm horrified. Would be.
Like, have you guys seen Get Smart with Steve Carell?
Yes.
You know that one scene?
Yes, a long time ago.
You know that one scene where Steve Carell and Alan Arkin get into a car crash and Steve Carell goes, "Are you okay, boss?" And Alan Arkin just goes, "I don't know, were you thinking, oh god, a swordfish nearly skewered my head? Because if so, that's exactly what I was thinking." Like, that's the reaction you would have.
Should be feeling. But, like, oh no, my car.
But yeah, notice that up until the mall, at no point do we actually see Diana, full frame. It's always, a swoosh here and a whip there. We never actually get to see Diana. And I guess visually what they're trying to imply is, see, she did stay hidden all the way through time and not gotten caught, like we said in BVS.
Yeah, that makes no sense though, because then she just straight up waltzes into a mall in full kit and just doesn't give a shit.
She does technically break the cameras, and I'm here like, that's not how cameras work. It'll still be recorded.
She uses her freaking tiara like a boomerang. What the fuck?
I mean, according to the comics, that is how the tiara works anyway in the comics, so I have no issue with the mechanics of that.
It's just like, what the hell?
But even then, I'm like, so you've been captured on footage, but you just don't care, do you? How did you stay hidden all this time, woman? That is wonderful. But before that, we got some shoplifting girls, and they run past a newlywed couple, and the woman gets tossed off the bridge. And from that angle, the way Wonder Woman grabs her, because it's so much from the side, it would have behooved Wonder Woman to just let the woman fall, because there was a greater chance of her hurting her, because she might have hit the wall as a result of her being pulled.
Yeah, she could have pulled her a bit too soon and just smacked her into the wall.
She nearly got hit to the wall as well, so it's like, rip husband, I guess. Like, newlywed and just killed by Wonder Woman trying to save her.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, like, it's... Like, at least here, I can kind of tell what they're trying to do, regardless of just how fantastically they fail at the execution.
Yeah, like, they're trying to have a fun sequence to introduce the film.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's here. She's saving people. Yeah.
And it's the 80s.
And then it's like, does it make sense? No. Because people should be dead because of what she's doing. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's not think
It's a
about that.
huge contrast to the rest of the film as well.
Yeah,
the
because
rest of the film's super serious, and this is like, oh look, it's a campy tune.
yeah, it's like the colors are popping
Yeah.
here, the music's all whimsical and lighthearted. It's a mad sequence.
I wouldn't mind it as much if the whole film was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of all over the place with its tone, and none of it really fits. Because all of it is just contrasting all over the place.
Yeah.
Lack of consistency. And now we've
Exactly.
got the four musketeers trying to rob the jewelry store.
Yeah.
Great acting. Great acting.
My God, this acting was awful. This is such a cringy scene. Like that all over the
I
place.
felt like I
and
was in an 80s movie.
yeah, they were like cartoon bad guys in the way they reacted to everything, and just it's like, what the heck?
I'm just wondering, like, whose idea was it to bring cousin Billy on this mission?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
That's a good question.
I can kind of believe that they've got a illegal ring in the back that sells smuggled goods. I can believe that. Fine. I can believe that these bozos chose to rob this place. I'm fine with this. And this is also where we get introduced to the magic rock. That is going to be the
Someone described it as a dildo stone, and it made me laugh so much.
Okay.
Oh my god, but yeah, so
A magic rock.
the magic walk.
Mhm.
But yeah, so the magic dildo. But anyway, this was a decent plan. Inconspicuous, well organized. Now, admittedly, I don't own a gun. I know, shocking. But
That's surprising.
but see, here's the thing, right? When you have a gun, it's always best not to have it in front of you when you're wearing it or concealing it.
Yeah,
Because
for various
are-
reasons.
more than a few reasons, which is why it's always tucked in the back or the side or holstered in somewhere that's safe and secure and hidden. Again, cousin Billy thinks
He's a wild
otherwise.
card.
Apparently, he's not bothered if he accidentally blows his junk off.
Yeah, or telling the entire mall that he has this thing,
Yeah.
And
He's definitely the wild card of the group.
now he's the retarded
Yeah.
card of the group. There's a difference. Like,
Is he the one that grabs the little girl as well?
he is.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, he's a dum dum.
I would describe the Joker as a wild card because you don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
This guy's just retarded. Like, this guy is outright special needs. And the way he drops the bag as well, and the way they show, oh my god, look, he has a gun. It's almost like he was told. It's like he threw it to the floor more than anything else. It's like they
Yeah.
said, okay, we need you to drop the gun. How? Oh, I don't know, just drop it. It's like, oh, okay. It's such.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, I can't describe this in any other way, but it's forced fumbling. It's like when you're
Yeah.
pretending to fumble. That's what
Yeah.
this was.
It was like, oh my gun. And then the woman who screams gun, I was like, oh my god, that's over the top.
I know, right? It's just.
It just seemed really, like, I get it. The gun, you would be afraid, but it just seemed almost like pantomime acting, if that makes any sense.
I can see that.
It seemed like belonged in a stage play.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, forced fumbling. That's exactly what it was, because he was acting as if he was fumbling rather than actually fumbling.
Yeah.
Jar
Like,
Jar
that's not how you
Binks
drop things.
taking out a tank in the battle in Naboo did a better job fumbling than this guy did.
Yeah. That's not actually how you drop things. Like,
No.
no. As someone who frequently drops things, definitely not how fumbling works.
Yeah. But and this is also America. I can't believe that a woman is just screaming at the side of a gun. Like you can carry guns if they're concealed.
Yeah,
For
like
protection and stuff like
you would
that.
think that she's seen them before and she's behaving like in Britain, that would make more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can't carry guns in Britain. You can't have guns in Britain, period. Yeah, so yeah, it's yeah.
Like a very big overreaction that didn't quite fit in with the rest of it.
Yeah, but then, okay, I get this was meant for comedy as well, but when the guy just pretends not to know him and the guy says, "Come on, let's go," and the guy goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake, dude, I was trying to blend in." Like, I get that was comedy, but in that moment, when everybody's running away and you're just sitting still, not doing anything,
there, like-
that just makes you stand out even more.
Yeah. I was like, dude, we can't hide or blend in. People know we're here. And then he's like, I know, I'm gonna up, and that's gonna stop and arrested because it's not like basically made myself kidnapping as well. Like, mind up.
But I am actually
Like,
glad.
he repeatedly is.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, I was like, he's repeatedly like, I'm not going back to jail. And I'm like, dude, you literally just picked up a little girl and dangled her over a railing. You're going to jail.
But
Absolutely.
one thing I do appreciate about this one segment is the fact that the policeman does have hit them on their target, but they choose not to shoot because of the civilians. I feel like
Yeah.
any other film would have just gone, "Oh my god, shoot!" right away without really thinking.
Yeah.
So it took us 15 minutes, but we finally got a positive.
Woo!
When the next one will come, I don't know.
Yeah. I want to talk about the acting while the little girl's being dangled over the edge as well. Like, the bad guys are like, no!
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
God.
that's the most
I love the
unenthusiastic no I have
love the
ever
scream.
heard. No!
I'm trying to see if I can. But oh my god, like again, we get that cartoon tone about it as well.
Everyone's faces are just like,
Overly exaggerated. I mean, like, I love the fact that his mates are just really trying their best to just figure out what the fuck this dildo is doing right now.
they're like, what are you doing?
Like, it's actually kind of comical just how not on the same page they are. Like, you've got,
What are you No!
like, discount
It was
Clint
just the way they
Eastwood is
shouted,
just
"No."
well confused.
Yeah.
But it's like,
The two women in that picture look like they're having a good old time there. What the fuck?
well, they're
They're
in a
just
movie.
like, oh my goodness. They're like, we're on camera.
Oh my god. Like,
Oh my Jesus Christ.
this is the face, though. Like,
I love that scream so much.
like that's
So cringy.
screenshot material. Like
It
that's
is.
like wallpaper material, you know?
Yeah,
Like
I
some
want
people
that. I want that as my wall.
like, you know how
That's
some
meme material.
Oh my god.
Just slap some words at the bottom and it's a meme.
I'm actually surprised that nobody has made a meme out of either of
Wait.
those screenshots.
I think I might just
Genuinely,
make one.
like
Me after I watch Wonder Woman 84.
oh, do you know what? I was watching Every Frame a Pause, the podcast, and they were talking about Wonder Woman. And immediately after this scene came up, there were plenty of memes. So they're out there. We just need to find them.
Oh, fantastic.
I need to find them now.
But yes. Yes. Discount Clint Eastwood is a yes in my book.
Yeah.
I agree. Maybe screaming yes.
No, he's definitely screaming no.
No, like in the meme.
Oh, right. Like one of the memes that was sent to that podcast I was talking about was like the body of John Boyega and then his head, where is the meme, right? Like Finn is always shouting Ray, but instead it's just no. This was the most memorable part about the film for me. I'll be honest.
His scream.
Yeah, him just going no. But luckily for us, Wonder Woman turns up and saves the little girl.
Yeah.
Yay.
I thought it was a nice exchange.
Yeah.
Which exchange?
Like between Wonder Woman and the little girl. The way that the little girl was really excited to
the
see
black
her
girl.
and... Yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was a really nice exchange.
I was talking about the white girl that she saved earlier, but yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, it was very cartoony, but that bit was like, oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
And the little wink that she gives her, I thought that was nice.
Yeah, and you've got countless witnesses, and you're telling me, no, like Wonder Woman staying hid all this time.
Yeah, true.
Like, continuity has just been knocked out of the park as far as anyone caring is concerned, I guess.
It's one of those where I'm in like this really weird place with like the DC film universe, because I'm kind of like, right, so are you full on canon or are you not? Like, are you just doing your own thing now, or is it still all connected? And I really don't know.
No, I don't think anyone. I don't think Warner Brothers knows either.
I think it's why I'm looking forward to the Batman so much, because I'm just like, at least it's separate.
I mean, that's
no confusion now.
That's if the Batman even gets finished at this rate.
I mean, apparently it's set to finish filming in March, so...
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be last March?
Yeah, but COVID happened.
I know.
COVID happened, so...
But like, I don't know, like there are so many reports of Robert Pattinson being a little bitch on set as well, so I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, dude, just put on the costume and do your thing. I want this film.
I don't know what to believe. I'm just...
I'm just waiting for the film, man.
Yeah.
Hoping it's good. I did see a funny meme about Robert Pattinson just being like, if you don't leave me alone, I'll make the film bad on purpose.
Okay, so if he's memeing...
It's like, if he does that, I will punch him in the face.
Yeah,
I'll track him down and I'll punch him in the face and be like, no, you dick.
Exactly. Like, that's also, like him and Taika Waititi, like, when they say stuff like that, I'm like, look, I really want to like you, but if you mean it, I don't know how much I can like you guys. Because as much as I love Taika Waititi, he did say that, I'm gonna destroy Star Wars, and I don't know if he's joking or not. You know?
I believe him that he was joking.
I believe he's joking. I believe that
it's
Robert was joking as well.
I know, but it's like...
I found it funny because it was like, people are saying he's gonna ruin it, and he's like, I could do that on purpose though. But like, at the same time, it's like, don't even joke about that. Like,
exactly.
People don't want the film to be terrible just because you're pissed off that a lot of people are like, oh, you're going to be terrible. Prove them wrong and be like, look at how badass of an actor I am.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Because I know the dude can act.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, to bring it to another Batman, like, everyone was giving Batfleck shit, but by the end of the film, everyone loved Batman more than anything else in the film, even though the film was shit. You know? Like, his performance turned it around and got everyone on board. Like,
oh yeah, like I was on board with Ben Affleck when he was announced. Like, I was kind of like, oh, that would be interesting. I hadn't seen Ben Affleck in a lot. I'd seen him in a couple of films, and I actually liked him. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm interested. I hadn't seen Daredevil at the time, so I didn't know what to compare his superhero performances to.
It's
and then when now I know that.
No, I had no problem either. I was like, if I'll just watch it and I'll just see how he does.
Yeah,
and I liked Ben Affleck in Batman vs Superman. He was one of the positives I took from it.
Yeah, I'm not one to be like, oh, they're getting this actor, it's gonna be terrible. Because I had high hopes for the Joker, and the Joker was absolutely terrible in Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, wait, the film Joker? Like, we have words to say now.
Joaquin Phoenix. No, yeah, but like in Suicide, like I was like, oh, Jared Leto's a pretty good actor, so I thought he'd maybe make the Joker cool, and then I watched it and I was like, never mind.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like it was one of those where with Jared Leto, I truly had nothing to compare it to. So I was like, oh, okay, I heard this guy won an Oscar. Okay, he must be a good actor then if he's won an Oscar. Like at least to even be considered in awards categories. And I thought, okay, I'll give this guy a go. And then I watched Suicide Squad and I was like, yeah.
Never mind.
Can't say I'm a fan of his interpretation in this film.
Yeah.
It was shit.
That's just me saying, like, you can't just go, oh, because it's this actor, it's gonna be shit. It doesn't necessarily mean the case. I mean...
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, like, at least Batfleck proved it with his performance. Like, we haven't really seen Pattinson's performance in full yet. It's just been the clips we've seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
So to say stuff like that, I'm like, oh, dude, come on. Like, that's A.
Just act good.
Yeah, just do your best and let your performance speak for itself, you know? Don't open your mouth.
Yeah.
And that's why I if it is a joke, fair enough, but it's really irksome to me when directors and actors do that, because A, treating the fans like shit, never a good idea.
Kind of implies like you don't give a shit about the thing you're doing.
Yeah, you know, like one thing I'll give Zach, he fucking cares. Maybe about the wrong things, but he fucking cares. And as much as I don't give a shit about Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi, I can tell he cared. Again, probably about the wrong things, but he gave a damn, you know? And I'll never take that away from them, but if they're gonna be making jokes like that, I'm like, dude, just make those kind of jokes in private. Don't do it outside, because, like, for instance, DC fans, Star Wars fans, they've been shat on quite a lot in terms of the films they've gotten recently, especially DC fans. They don't need you saying stuff like that, especially now. You know, we finally got Joker, great. You know, but let's be honest, we haven't gotten a consistently good DC film since The Dark Knight, and that's a pretty long fucking time.
That would be nice if we could get another one.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You know, not even a great one, just a good one will do, you know? And if you're saying shit like, oh, I might do a bad performance on purpose, like...
Don't do that.
I'm all for making edgy jokes, I am. But as a creator, as someone who wants to create as well, that's just something I don't want to hear people say.
Yeah. That just kind of shows a bit of, like, privilege in a way. Like, haha, I can get away with this shit.
Yeah, like,
and then you've got people who are actively trying to break into filmmaking. And it's just a bit like, well, you're just kind of shitting on people that aren't in a comfortable situation.
Even if it's not intended, that's the perspective that can come across, you know? Like, I make edgy jokes, you know? I bring Hitler up in conversations willy-nilly and just see what happens, but I don't disrespect people in the same, well, quote-unquote profession, you know? Like, I want to treat these people with the same amount of respect I want to be given. I would not make fun of people in that way by saying, oh, I might make this film purposefully terrible. No, man, why would you even say that? Like, I'm all for free speech and saying whatever the fuck you want, but there are certain things, man, that just does rub me the wrong way. Say it if you want, but fuck me, my respect for you is going to be plummeted as a result, though. I mean, then again, it's just me in the buttfuck nowhere, so I doubt Pattinson even cares who I am, but still, as a fan, that really does affect my excitement for the film.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was a tangent.
That was a tangent, but it was It was fair because it is a good point.
But yeah, at least now, I mean, I've been looking at Gal Gadot and in all her beauty all this time, so it's kind of kept me calm. So,
Oh, that's good.
thank you for existing, Gal Gadot. I fucking love you.
Still on the mall. Are we finished the mall scene?
Oh no, she just arrived.
Yeah.
But she's arrived, and the way she goes about doing this, with the lasso of truth and the way she's moving and the way everything is being treated, it's very whimsical.
Did you guys see it as like it looked like she was literally skating across the floor? That looked weird to me.
Yeah, I find a lot of her fighting weird, like the sliding on the floor and the weird acrobatics. I think we talked about in the last one as well. Like
Yeah.
I don't really gravitate towards it, but if that's a fighting style, fair enough. Make as much use of it as you can, I guess. But we're expanding on just how much the lasso of truth can do. It's almost as if it's got a mind of its own, like Doctor Strange's cape.
Yeah.
I do love the cape.
I do love the cape too.
The cape is. I like the cape.
You know what this mall scene reminded me of? Something out of Batman 69.
I can see that. I can totally see that.
It's very slapstick, it's bright and colorful, it's winking at the audience, it's
I get
very Adam West.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which is not the rest of the film. So
Yeah, the rest of the
Definitely
film is completely different, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And if I were to make an argument, I would say that her apprehending all of these quote-unquote robbers and, having the girl with the plushies and all of that, I would argue you didn't need this scene either.
I would agree with you. The only thing that
Yeah.
sets this scene apart from the opening sequence is the fact that the robbers, they're going after the supplies, aren't they?
And that's where we establish the magic dildo. Yeah.
Yeah, the stone was in that vault that they were going into. So and that's the only thing that I can really draw to why this scene should be included in the film.
True.
Warner Bros. Didn't like this scene either.
Me and Warner Brothers agree again. Okay, so the reason why I think this scene could have been cut as well is because if you start the film with her going to the museum and working in the museum, and someone said, "Oh, hey, there was a robbery. We've got some inventory that they want us to check," and then that's how the magic stone was introduced. Boom, that's done as well. So we would have saved 20 minutes.
I suppose they would also want to do an exciting opening to the film. And
but it just kind of
either way, you can kind of flip the coin on whether you want the Themyscira sequence or the mall sequence. And
that's kind of what Warner Bros. That's what Warner Bros. Said to her. They went, "You can either cut Themyscira or the mall scene," and she went, "No, we need both of them." And I'm just like, Patty Jenkins, why? Why do we need both of these scenes? They don't do anything.
I can see the mall sequence fitting more despite the tonal issue.
If you
simply because it's setting it up and introducing the hero. But aside from that, I do get what you mean, Dylan.
Yeah, it's like if you were to give me a reason on why you absolutely need to have this scene, I think David's reason is probably the best reason you could possibly have for this scene. The action, the adrenaline, setting up the quote-unquote MacGuffin and all that tism. But that's the thing, like, if she did pick one or the other, I would have preferred she picked this one because this is a lot more relevant to the narrative. But she wanted both of them for God knows why, so I guess we're
Reasons.
stuck
She
with
was like,
both.
no, we need both.
Like, if there is so much fluff in this film, I reckon someone could make a really tight hour-and-a-half edit of this film, and it would be paced so much better as a result.
I agree with you.
But
it's like we said, and the film just feels way too long for its own good.
But yeah, absolutely. And it turns out that Wonder Woman drops the robbers right onto the police car. Now,
Which should have killed them.
yes, especially the one at the bottom. So, can you guys guess who was in the bottom?
Was it our pal who always fumbles?
Actually,
Boy.
I'll send you a screenshot of who was right in the bottom.
Or was it Clint?
It was Clint.
Well, you can see it for yourself now. At the very bottom is Discount Clint.
Oh no!
See,
No.
the old man would have been a pancake.
He would be dead.
Like, we're talking A train running through a person on the street levels of a pancake.
Yeah.
Like, he should be red right now. But, hey, Batman 69 logic.
Cartoon part. Yeah. Slapstick part. Nah, they're okay.
Yeah. Don't you miss consistency?
This makes no sense for me because later on as well, she's like, you can't. She says to Chris Pine at one point, you can't shoot people. They don't know what they're doing.
Oh, he wasn't even trying to shoot. He was trying to stab.
Yeah. She was like, you can't use that. And it's like, but you're quite happy to just drop criminals onto cars. Okay.
Oh, and let's that scene. Oh my god. But remember, Mind Wash Germans, they're fair game though.
Yeah, that too. That annoyed me. I was like, oh, come on.
It's but at least we're 17 minutes in.
Woo! Woo!
Bad news, we've still got two and a bit hours left.
Nice.
But
So much to talk about.
oh my god.
It's so boring.
It was quite boring, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, nothing happens in this movie except Pedro Pascal being like extremely over the top, and I love it.
Pedro
Life
Pascal.
can be good, but it can be better.
Like Pedro Pascal, this film reminded me why I like him as an actor.
Good actor. He was actually in Buffy. He was in the
I've
first
heard.
episode of Buffy season 4.
I've heard that, yeah.
I remember watching it and I was like, whoa.
Isn't Amy Adams in Buffy as well at some point?
Amy Adams is in Buffy.
I think so, yeah.
Like, all these Buffy alumni are getting DC jobs, and I'm like, oh, fair
you
enough.
poor guys.
Lois Lane, Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
Sure, there are a bunch of others that I can think of.
Yeah. So, people are shocked.
What happens next?
Sorry?
I can't remember what happens next.
Oh, well, I will let you know. That is
Okay,
why I'm
sorry.
here for. But, yes, it turns out that no one knows who Wonder Woman is.
It's
You
just
know,
a
Even
woman
though
who did things.
it's like, who is this mysterious person that saved all these people? And I'm like, well, she's not doing a good job hiding herself, so I don't understand why you're having such a hard time figuring who this is.
Yeah. She's still going by her name Diana Prince, and like
Oh
nobody's
my-
going, lady, you should be at least 70.
Do you know what? I didn't even think of that part. It's 70 years later and she's still using the same name.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
just.
god.
I mean, was she documented or?
I mean, they take a picture of her in the first movie, and
Yeah, but a
she's
picture.
known by people, and she.
She works in a museum.
True.
And Batman managed to find out stuff about her.
So did Lex
Batman's
Luthor.
a weirdo.
Yeah.
Batman and Lex are weirdos.
I mean, then again, like, if you get to follow Gal Gadot on social media and just smile every time she posts something, that'd make it worth it.
I like her, but I don't like her that much.
Fair enough. She just so like Gal Gadot being so beautiful is what got me through most of this film. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you are way too pretty to be in something so shit.
She's a lovely person as well, from what I can tell.
Yeah, like every time I see her outside of a film, she's like a ball of fun energy, you know, always having a smile, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so cool. Why isn't that in Wonder Woman? I'll be far more engaged. But no. Instead, we got this film. So she arrives home, and we get to see all the mementos of the previous films' heroes and where they are now, which is they're all dead.
Yeah, and her creepy Steve shrine.
Oh, Amy, I want to know what you think. All right, so, you know how you were kind of peeved with Snape for being in love with Harry's mom for 20 odd years?
Oh yeah.
So, how do you feel about Wonder Woman pining for Steve for 70 years?
Same way, to be honest. I get it. Like he's very good, Steve. But 70 years, did you not get lonely or have any urges in that time, Diana?
Apparently not.
I mean, sex
Did you
toys
really not?
have evolved quite a lot.
I mean, yeah, sure. But like, did you really never have a connection with another human in 70 years? You were just like, no, doesn't get better than Steve.
That weekend with Steve, man, that's all that counted.
Like, it doesn't even seem like she has any friends either, and that kind of, it's like, what did people like, did you know when people like sort of maybe said to her, do you want to go to a, like, I don't know, do you want to go for a go to a party, or do you want to go hang out? Did she just go, no, I've got to go sit upstairs and pine over my lover from 70 years ago?
She is
Yeah.
very... Oh, sorry, go on.
It's okay. I was just going to say that she does say that she's not really into that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, see, this is the issue with the ending of the first film. Because it ended on such an optimistic note, you're left wondering why she is so isolationist in this film.
Yeah. She's choosing to be alone.
Now, if the first film ended with her naivety being completely demolished, I can see this version of her making a lot more sense. But that's not what we got in the first film. So I need to actively ignore the first film for this to make sense.
Also, this completely shows the tone shift, because now she's depressed and she's just like, oh, plane, I'm sad now.
Oh my god, I'm just getting to read the newspaper clip of Ludendorff. Mystery surrounds miracle of Ludendorff's defeat.
Oh.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Wonder Woman was surrounded by at least a couple of platoons of German soldiers who saw exactly what she did. It's not really a mystery unless they all pinky swear not to tell.
Yeah. Got an image of them all making
I don't know why that got me.
It's like after the battle, everyone's hugging each other, and Dana just walks up to everyone and says, pinky swear you won't tell, pinky swear you won't tell, pinky swear, and they just stuck to it.
Yeah, they just don't tell.
But do you know what I would have found interesting? Now that Ares is dead, what would she have done about World War II? Because she was in a concentration camp with the Jews.
And she just let them die.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, so you didn't turn into...
Grim.
Wait, Wonder Woman, why are you evil now?
You tried to stop World War One, but World War Two, nah, that one was just like, they'll solve it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as important as World War One. You don't need my help.
Just mass genocide. No, it's fine.
6 million Jews later. Oh shit! I probably should have helped. It's like holy shit. Fucking hell. I mean, I was gonna make a joke, and I was like, oh, I don't know if that's really.
No.
I shall leave it to the imagination.
Yes. If the conversation is focused on the Holocaust, there is no there is no place for jokes.
Yeah.
Just know, keep it to yourself.
Well, I mean,
I do think that there was a way around World War II that they could have possibly done, even if it was like newspaper clippings where it was like I don't even know.
Maybe if it's like Avatar, where it's like the blue mist or something with Zuko, where he's like, oh, Scourge of the Fire Nation, but no, it's actually Prince Zuko. But that would mean that she lied to Bruce Wayne in BVS when she said she's been inactive for a century. So either way, none of this works. So yeah. The more I talk about Wonder Woman, both films, the more I'm surprised that this woman made Monster.
Yeah. Okay, so the isolation makes a bit more sense in terms of, she said she walked away from humanity 100 years ago, but she's still participating in humanity.
Yeah, exactly, but all the evidence that we have been given in both of the Wonder Woman films is contrary to her saying that to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And do you know what? The events of this film, now that I think about it, you'd think they were pretty fucking important that people would remember it.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
the whole world almost blown up. But
World War III almost happened. Nukes were released.
But
no one talks about it.
Clearly no one forgot because the wreckage was there to be cleaned up. The evidence was... what?
Yeah. This is like if in Marvel, where they frequently bring up the attack on New York, it's like if that happened and nobody mentioned it ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a consistency with the MCU because they bring up stuff like New York, Sokovia, Washington DC with Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what we talked about the previous 2 episodes as well, where Marvel took the time to plan it out.
Maybe take some notes from Marvel people who are making DC movies.
Like, make it grim and dark and gritty if you want. I don't give a shit about your tone. But take the time to make it consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you're not gonna make a cinematic universe out of something, at least put like the heart and the dedication that Marvel put into their films, because in the Marvel movies you can clearly sense, even if some are like even some are like paint by color. Is that the phrase?
Paint by numbers?
Paint by numbers, that's the one. Even if some are paint by the numbers, you can really tell the love and dedication. And I'm not saying that that's not the case with DC, because I do think that there's loads of love and heart that goes into the films, but I do think that it comes across more in the Marvel films, and I think the arcs of each of the characters in the Marvel films work on a better level than many of the ones in DC films that make it more fulfilling.
Hardcore, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. And I feel like...
Oh, go on.
I feel like DC went, ooh, Marvel have made a cinematic universe, let's do that, but they just tried to copy them instead of actually doing the work.
That's exactly what they did.
And I feel like they should have just stuck to not trying to make it a universe, just film by film basis. It probably worked out better for them.
Because originally, I remember way back in the day, when they first announced Man of Steel, it was supposed to be a Superman trilogy, but then Avengers came out, and oh shit, we gotta get in on this piece of pie. It's like, no, you gotta put Batman in the next one. It's like, oh, okay. So, that's the thing, DC rushed it. And, I love DC. I do. Most of my comics are DC. But Marvel are better at the films.
In films, Marvel are 100% better. Just
And you know what? I'd love to see a DC universe. I'd love to
Me
be
too.
so hyped, like Infinity War level hype
Yeah.
for a Justice League movie, or even just a standalone Superman movie. I'd love to be that excited.
Yeah, because it's
But it's
been
hard to get excited anymore when they're like, "Oh, this movie's coming out." You're like, "Okay, good. I'll probably watch it once and never think about it again."
I mean, the closest I've come is this new Justice League, and that's because, oh, hey, I like Zack, but, Justice League itself, I'll take it or leave it. And I never thought I'd say that about a Justice League film. But, yeah, at this point, like, after Justice League, like, that is the last big comic book property that I'm looking forward to. Like, Endgame, I'm kind of marveled out. I need some time to just get my energy back because Endgame, like, just was such a conclusion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Justice League, it's kind of like the conclusion from, like, 2017. So I'm like, this is more of a delayed catharsis more than anything else. So,
Yeah.
it's like if I broke up with a girl, but me being emotionally affected by it, like 3 years later. That's what it feels like with Justice League. So that's what that is, and take that however the fuck you want in terms of interpreting what I just said. And I love how we've spoken more about anything but this film for most of this episode.
Sorry.
There's a lot to discuss.
To talk about this movie. It's like I say, it's emotionally draining, just like last time.
Oh, but you know what, Amy? You've been through it all.
I know. And I am never watching this movie again. You couldn't pay me to.
You are welcome.
What's your next one in the timeline, Dylan?
Man of Steel.
Okay, I'm looking
That
forward to
one
that.
that one I'm less bothered about because I went to see that in the cinema and I actually like that one.
I really liked it
are
as
on the
well.
same
So
page. Me and Dylan are on the same page on Man of Steel.
yeah, like because I'm really interested to see it again now for this because
Yeah.
like the way I look at media has significantly changed over the past year. I'm sure you've noticed.
Definitely same.
So I'm really curious how it holds up with my current mindset. But hey, I remember still loving it, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, you did the whole dissertation on it.
I did, but it was more about themes
True.
more than actual scripting and shit like that, so we'll
True.
see. Like, if I gave it the Enola treatment, would it hold up? That's what I'm curious about.
Both got Cavill in it.
Oh my god. Like, Henry Cavill deserves so much better.
I remember going to see Mission Impossible Fallout with you, and we were just so happy. Like, he's in a good movie.
He's in a good one! Finally! Oh. Like, every time I see Henry Cavill, I just smile because he just seems like such a nice person.
He does.
And he can build a computer.
Oh my god, that video made me so happy. And then I was watching so many reactions of some of the YouTubers I follow as well. And they were like, because they're all women who love Henry Cavill, so Henry Cavill builds PC, ovaries exploding, and I was like, alright, I'll watch your reaction to that. It was so wholesome, and I loved it. Oh, Henry Cavill just deserves to be in better films.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so
where were we?
holy shit.
Diana's creepy shrine to Steve.
We go
Are we
through
on the end credit sequence?
we go through a whole minute of that, by the way.
Yay!
I did think that lingered for quite a while.
But yeah, she is still pining for Steve, 70 years late. Okay, so see, I reckon with the appropriate writing, you could have made that work. But again, writing needed to be present.
Yeah, this was just, here you go, here's a big here's the clear obsession with this guy.
So I was thinking, and feel free to tell me what you think about it. I was thinking about this straight after watching it for the first time, so I've been marinating on it. I was thinking maybe because Diana was so ancient, in terms of the number of years she has lived, not her looks, mind you. Like, because she's so old, maybe she experiences time differently. So maybe she does feel as if she's aging with us. But from her perspective, while we interpret it as hundreds of years for her, she may be experiencing it as every 100 years is like a year for her. You know,
Yeah.
so maybe the way she experiences time is different. So maybe you could have had a conversation with Steve going, look, all this time before you, it felt like I was just rushing through time and everyone was dying around. Like, okay, there were no humans around at the time, but I was living multiple lives of humans and it felt as if it was a day. But with you, I felt as if every day was 1,000 years. So, like, something corny and cheesy like that, where it's relating to the experience of time. And then saying, and then ever since then, time has returned to what it was. And I'm still not over it because I'm experiencing it as if I was experiencing it before I met you. And that could try to explain something.
Yeah, if you try to explain it to me instead of just like, look, she's still pining for him, it's kind of like, I get that losing somebody you're close to would really suck. But
yeah, I
in
mean,
70
I'm
years,
sure
really?
we've all lost people in our lives. I'm sure we all have. And while we may have initial grief or we may have celebrated their lives in some way or form, we still choose to move on while remembering them. It's fine.
It's allowed. And I mean, the way that it's set up at the end of the 2017 one, it sounded like she was like at peace with the fact he died. It sounded like she was like, yeah, it sucks, it's bittersweet, but you know, I learned to love somebody, so maybe I can apply that and eventually love someone else after appropriate grieving time. But no, she just doesn't.
She's just going on single dates, not sharing cabs because she's looking at planes to think of Stevie Wonder. Well, you know what? At least Stevie Wonder can't see this film, which is great. I don't want him to experience this.
Yep.
It's a rough time.
If you know who's... Did you guys get what I meant
Yeah,
there? Okay,
yeah.
good. Maybe an insensitive joke, but I'm still glad Stevie Wonder can't see this film. He deserves better.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah... the act of choosing to stay alone and wallow, it's just kind of like, come on, Diana.
Hi.
Also, your wallowing is not going to help you save the world, by the way.
Which was the agreement between the two of them? You know, I can save today, but you can save the world tomorrow. Some corny shit like that.
Yep.
Okay, so if that was the case...
Also, does that mean every time she looks at a plane, she just gets sad? Because pilot...
Apparently so.
Oh my god, Steve, I remember you. Okay, bye. But it's like, so... If that... Do you know what, Amy, what you just said about, every time she saves people is because of Steve, because of the saving tomorrow part, that makes it... The fact that she chose not to help during World War II makes it even more egregious on her character because she is actively disrespecting what she gave up Steve for. Yeah. So, oh my god, fucking hell, I didn't even think about it from that aspect.
Me neither.
Oh my god. But yeah.
I don't despise this film, but in a way, I kind of see the original as a standalone because this film's just kind of so far removed from my mind at this point, despite only having watched it this morning.
That's the thing. Like, continuity-wise, for either one of these to make sense, the first or the second, respectively, has to not exist in the continuity.
Yeah.
It's actually baffling.
And it's one of those where I'm like, I actually like the original, so bye-bye 1984.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one I want to give up, so that's a conversation to have after the conversation is done.
I don't plan on watching either one of them again because
Oh,
they
yeah.
emotionally drained me, and just no.
At least we have Shazam.
We have Shazam. I will happily watch Shazam again. That film made me laugh.
I haven't
This
seen
film, however, just made me die a little bit inside.
I haven't seen Shazam since the cinemas, so eventually that would be something worth talking about because I'm interested to see how I see it because I can't remember. But yeah, now we get introduced to Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3, played by Kristen Wiig.
Yep.
I was so confused when you said that.
or we could go with Jamie Foxx in
Amazing Spider-Man 2. That was literally my next example.
Or Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey
Batman
from
Forever.
Batman Forever.
Yeah,
The Riddler.
literally the dorky guy turned into villain.
But
Or
girl
Uma
edition this
Thurman
time.
in Batman and Robin.
Yeah, lady edition. Or Poison Ivy.
Oh shit, yeah. But Poison Ivy was because of Lex Luthor's dad more than Batman,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, true.
Wait, No.
Yeah, Lionel Luthor from Smallville, that was this crazy scientist in Batman and Robin.
Oh my god, I had no idea about that. Like I knew he's Lionel Luthor, and I knew that he was Dr. Sivana's father in Shazam, but I completely forgot that he was in Batman and Robin.
Oh my god, you know what we should do just to cheer ourselves up after we finish Justice League? We should watch Batman and Robin.
We should.
Okay.
You know, get all the
down
ice
for
bonds out of the way and just have a good time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we get introduced to dorky character who nobody likes, eventually gonna turn.
yeah, and it's absurdly dorky as well, and it's unrealistically so because
it's a caricature of what people think when you say dorky. And I'm like, sorry, but given the fact that nerd culture is very much acceptable, well, quotation mark, acceptable now, it does seem like a massive caricature.
I mean, fucking hell, I've got comics and games and anime and shit like that, but I don't resemble this much,
I know.
do I?
I would say I'm very much the definition of a nerd, but I mean, yeah, I wear glasses, but oh my god, I don't. And I'm clumsy too, but not to this extent. Jesus Christ.
And the way people treat her is absurd, because when she drops the files, I'm trying to find... Oh, when she drops the files from the briefcase and the two guys are walking past her, and them just
like,
completely ignoring her and not helping, that's absurd. Like, no matter who it is, like, if someone drops something, your instinct is to, okay, go help, you know, unless, like...
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially in the
it's not
workplace.
Like, oh, they're too... Yeah, they're too nerdy for me, I'm not gonna help them. What the fuck?
It's
That's
like,
just
oh,
mean.
We're too cool for you. Now, if you're in the workplace, immediately you go and help. That's what people do, regardless of whether you're a fucking nerd or not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You kind of just do that.
I mean,
and I get it's set in the 80s, but I'm sure even in the 80s people helped each other out, regardless of what they looked like.
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
If this was on the street and it was rush hour, that's one thing. But it's not.
Understandable then. It's in a quiet place. It would have taken them 2 seconds to help her, but they were like, nah, bye.
Yeah, it's almost an empty corridor.
Like, it's absurd in the characterization of a lot of the people in this museum, the Smithsonian even. Yeah. But luckily for us, a Wonder Woman comes along and helps her carry things.
Yep.
And from the presentation of the characters, they are total opposites in every way imaginable.
Almost like trying to say that you can't be nerdy and attractive. What's all this about? That really annoyed me. Sorry, it did.
Look, I'll be the first one to say I'm not the biggest Kristen Wiig fan, although I did like her in Bridesmaids, but I haven't seen that
Bridesmaids,
film.
she was good.
I haven't seen that film in 10 years, but I remember liking her there. I've seen clips of Ghostbusters 2016, and I have zero desire to see that film.
I haven't seen it, and I'm not particularly interested, to be honest, either.
But since Bridesmaids, I feel like every time I've seen Kristen Wiig, she's playing Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But you're not Owen
on
Wilson.
On one of the reviews I was watching of this, somebody said basically Kristen Wiig feels like a female version of Seth Rogen in that she basically plays the same character in movies.
Oh, okay.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've liked more performances by Seth Rogen. So
I have to say, I think I have too.
I'm a fan of Seth Rogen. I smile whenever I see that guy.
I wouldn't go so far to call myself a fan, but I've liked some stuff he's been in.
I've tolerated more of him. But yeah.
I haven't seen Kristen Wiig in that much, to be honest.
I've seen him more in animated films, so I guess I've heard him more.
Yeah.
Fair. But yeah, like, okay, so here's the thing with Kristen Wiig. There's most of what she says when it's casual conversation and it's meant to be the bubbly Kristen Wiig. I feel like a lot of it is ad-libbed and not scripted. Did you guys get that feeling as well?
Yeah, like, there's a really weird conversation. It's when they're having dinner together.
Oh,
her and Diana.
fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's super awkward, and it's bouncing from point to point, and you're just like, what
There's
is
no
happening?
cohesion in the flow of points that they talk about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, what is this conversation?
That's pretty much the exact same, nature of the conversation that they have when they first meet. You know, it's like, oh, hey, thanks for helping. Oh, hey, no one's my friend. Oh, hey, do you want to grab dinner? It's like, whoa, slow down. One thing at a time.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that was very fast.
Like, I kind of get the neurotic aspect that they want to hype up, but there's neurotic, like Lex Luthor from The Social Network, and then there's obnoxious neurotic that's trying too hard, like in this. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I was just like, that just came off as really weird and creepy, rather than just, hey, do you want to, grab a coffee sometime?
Yeah. Maybe if the coffee thing came up when they were talking about the actual artifacts.
Yeah. Or like you see them starting to get along, or they start at least having something in common.
Yeah.
I think Diana was just trying to be nice because she saw how she was being treated by everyone else.
Yeah. I just mean, like, immediately being like, oh, you helped me pick stuff up. Let's go and have coffee. Just seems like a very giant leap. Because it's like, just because someone helped you to be nice doesn't mean they owe you their friendship.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I was talking later on when Diana suggests it.
Later on, that's fine, but I'm talking about immediately after she's helped her pick stuff up and she's like, coffee! It's like, no. Why?
Okay, so this is just something I've thought of now while I was listening to you guys. It's like, what if we have the power walking scene where she's going to the museum and we meet her after the FBI has dropped off everything and she's going through the artifacts, and because Wonder Woman was in the mall to begin with, she might be curious, so she comes in to check on it. They have a nice conversation, get along, and maybe not have Kristen Wiig be on her first day, maybe have her be working there, but so they've seen each other but never spoken, so now they have spoken and they're getting along, and Kristen Wiig goes, hey, like, do you want to get lunch today? Because you're kind of really cool to hang out with.
Yeah.
That would have worked slightly better.
I would have been down with that.
And plus, you get away from that like awkward conversation with the lady who hires her.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that
like-
was ridiculous.
That was
Because it was
crazy.
like, oh, who's Barbara Minerva? And it was like, oh, that's me. You hired me last week. Like, I get that it takes a while to understand names sometimes,
But faces.
seriously. Yeah, exactly.
Also, if you just hired this person, you would remember them.
Yeah, like, okay, so for example, let's talk about our first week at uni. Okay, I don't know about you guys, so this is why I'm asking. In your first week, after induction week, who did you guys sit next to? Complete strangers or the people you spoke to during induction week?
People I spoke
Complete
to, and
strangers.
to be
Why?
fair, like,
My question is, why?
I didn't speak to that many people and they just sat around me.
Because they're familiar.
fair.
Because they're familiar, yeah?
No, I was the first one in the room.
No. No, what I mean
No, I mean,
is,
I think it's
when you actually start university, after induction week, you sat with them because they were the familiar ones. You recognized
I guess
them.
so.
yeah.
So, faces I recognize, and I know they recognize me, so I'm going to sit next to them, and then you end up building a friendship. Because that's how we met.
Yeah.
True.
So that's the
how
thing.
I met you is I just happened to be on the same table as you guys.
Yeah, you were talking to people, and I knew them. I said hi, and here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, David was sitting behind me, and we recognized each other's faces. So it's like, hi.
You
After
were
a couple
talking
of
about
days.
Power Rangers and Beauty and the Beast.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus, you remember the conversation? Fucking
I
hell.
do.
I'm glad I left an impression.
I'll be right back, guys.
How dare
Okay.
you? It's
I
fine.
don't think I left an impression on anybody. I was just like, I'm just gonna try and talk to people because I am shy as heck.
I mean, every person we've had on call has remembered you, so. But yeah,
I
that's
meant like at the start, like at near the end of uni, I think I was a bit more talkative and got along with people a bit more then.
yeah. I mean, I would hope so. But
Yeah.
like that was the point I was going with. Like people instinctively remember faces. Like that's why we gravitate
Yeah.
towards them when we meet them for the first time in a new setting, and that's what I brought up the university example for.
Yeah.
We sit next to them because we recognize their faces, and the fact that this woman is hiring people and not even remembering their faces, very bad.
Why are you hiring?
As a boss, she's really bad. As a character, she's really
Yep.
bad because she's represented in a really bad way. And C, this is not how you get us to endear us towards Kristen Wiig's character, because
No.
you're making her out to be a quote-unquote victim of circumstance when there is no need to.
Yeah. There are ways to show a character as like kind of hard done by, but making people not remember her, like really, that just kind of
Yeah.
makes the other person look like a shit.
Like maybe victim of circumstance where she may be down on her luck, behind on rent, payments being delayed. Like maybe something like that would make her a little bit more
Yeah.
quote-unquote relatable. Like, have you seen Aaron Brockovich with Julia Roberts?
Yes.
Like that's a
Yes, I
great,
love them.
yeah. Like that's a down on her luck woman, making the best of things till the very end. Like that's a great example of it. Hell, even Tim Burton's Catwoman did it better.
Definitely.
But burp. But yeah, this is 90s writing in a weird way.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's weird.
And it was old in the 90s.
Yeah. The fact that people can immediately go, "Yep, you're this caricature. You're a bad you're a down on the luck character who's going to turn bad."
Yeah, it's like when the arc has been figured out by the audience members, so like, okay, conversely, you can have a predictable character, but if the
Yeah.
writing supports it, then you will still be invested. Whereas here,
Yeah.
it's predictable, but you're not invested because instinctively that we're 22 minutes in, so you know what kind of experience we're in for. So instinctively, we're not having a positive experience so far. We're finding flaws left and right, and we know that what we are expecting is exactly what's going to happen. So there is
like
no...
we're like not gonna be surprised when it's like, oh, she's bad. Oh no. Shocking.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, okay, we're 20 minutes
When's
in.
it gonna happen?
We're 20 minutes in. She should be losing her shit about now. Exactly.
Yep.
So that's the mindset you turn into. So, for example, I'm trying to think of a typical character but done extremely well. What would be a good example?
Typical character.
I
don't know,
Okay, let's think of...
Hey, guys.
Oh, hey.
We're just trying to think of a typical character that's been done well, you know, like one that you're like, yeah, I know what this character is, but you can still be invested and enjoy it.
Yeah,
in general, or Wonder Woman 1984?
In general. We're thinking...
That's much better.
Gives you a lot more options.
Definitely.
So we're thinking kind of like how in this one we're like, oh, so this is the Jim Carrey character from Batman Forever, but a girl. So we're thinking along that line where a character is that predictable, but we're still engaged with because they were really well executed.
Selena Kyle, Batman Returns.
Selena Kyle.
She's kind of in that vein, but executed much better. And Michelle Pfeiffer is fantastic as Catwoman.
Oh my god, I love Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's my choice anyway.
Yeah,
like, a good example.
Should have thought about that faster, considering we brought up Selena Kyle earlier as well. But yeah,
we did.
Very stereotypical character in terms of what we expect her to do, but executed magnificently while adding a Tim Burton spin on it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what we're trying to say is that this is a failure of execution in a short form.
In terms of Barbara Minerva.
Kristen Wiig,
character.
Oh, that's her name. Gotcha. I've seen this fucking film 3 times and I still forget her name's Barbara.
To be fair, it might just be because we recently watched it today.
I watched it yesterday.
I watched it yesterday and today, to be fair, actually.
But... Oh, was it the day before? It was one of the two, but it was very recent. So, yeah. Fun. But...
Sounds it.
Anyway. They feel... Oh, yeah! So, English brown bro comes along and makes a wish for a cup of coffee. Now...
Oh, Asim Chowdhury.
Yes. I'm glad you knew the name just from me saying Asian brown bro.
I remember the scene.
Yes.
I would have wished for that too, probably.
Same.
But see,
you made a good choice.
This brings up a really big issue with regards to how
What did he have to give up for his coffee? I really want to know.
That's a good point.
No, even beyond that, like, how does it work? Is it predestination, or does it generate something out of nowhere? Because if it's predestination, then the guy already had the coffee and was coming along. The wish just made it so that the coffee was intended for no one, as opposed to getting it for a specific reason. So that would mean it would already have to exist and have to be in motion with the win conditions, well, for the wish changing to accommodate the wish.
That's confusing, though. Because some people later on wish for things like $1 million and it just pops up.
Exactly. So,
yeah, like there's no rhyme
really
or reason behind how it works.
It's like random, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Because at the end of the day, we'll get into it later. Was there really any need for body snatching?
Oh, we will get to that.
We will get to the body snatching part.
Because as much as Patty Jenkins says stuff, I don't think it was warranted in the slightest.
No,
I don't
especially
think it was
when
needed, or even makes any sense. Sorry, carry on.
No, that's fine, because it leads on to me saying, especially when considering the fact that this rock has the power to generate hundreds of nukes instantaneously.
And a
Literally.
wall.
You
And a wall.
literally
It puts
could-
a wall.
And a wall.
You literally could have had Chris Pine just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That would have made so much more sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, when I finally watched the body swapping, I was like, I am so confused, and I get why people are mad about this. It doesn't need to be there.
I was very this is a word I don't say often, but I was quite gobsmacked when that happened. This was one of the mouth hanging open moments in the cinema.
I can see why.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the mechanics of this rock is incredibly inconsistent because we don't know if it is predestination or if it can generate willy-nilly.
And then in terms of rules as well, you can only have one wish.
Yeah, and
But then people get more than one, so...
Okay. That is actually... I'm assuming you're talking about Barbara later on in the film as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that has its own issues. But
like it's one of those where if Maxwell Lord were to say, well, that was the stone that you wished it from, but you know, I'm my own person. So like if he said that, I'd be like, that's questionable, but
so the reason...
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, so I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to stand up for Wonder Woman 84 in this instance.
Oh my god.
In this one instance. And the reason why is because throughout the film so far, you've seen, up until that point rather, you've seen him, you know, take things from other people that he wants in as payment for the wish. So, when he said to Barbara specifically, it's like, I'm feeling generous, what he was doing, and this is very poorly executed by the film, mind you, she became Cheetah. Get it? Cheetah. Haha.
Oh yeah, I see what you did there.
She becomes Cheetah because he took payment from other people and gave it to her. That's how it worked. But I'm wondering...
But it was not very clear.
Exactly. But I'm wondering what feline motherfucker made a wish for catnips in that moment so that he can give her the powers of a cheetah. Because that's not a human trait. So that's why, even though I defended it, it's still broken. This, like I said,
this magic dildo makes no sense.
This is a funny film.
Yeah.
But we'll get to all of that in due time, believe you me.
Is that going to be a new t-shirt idea? This
magic
is a funny
dildo.
film.
This is a funny film.
I was going to say.
It is, though. We've laughed so much at it.
Yeah. It's funny, but not funny. Haha. It's funny.
It's funny in the sense that the Joker is laughing uncontrollably.
Yes, it's that.
It's painful.
It's kind of like, if I don't laugh, I will feel the pain.
So yeah, the rules of this rock. Oh.
Very.
And how it works, how it operates, what it does. Very inconsistent. And when things are inconsistent, they don't make sense.
Yeah.
So here's also another thing where it doesn't make sense. Every other time it's been, I wish I had this, I wish for this, I wish for that. Diana, on the other hand, just closes her eyes and goes, I know exactly what to wish for. And that's all.
I wish.
Nothing about I wish, doesn't say I want my human dildo back. Nothing, just,
Yeah, she doesn't tell the wish, she doesn't tell the rock what she wants, so how does it know?
Yeah.
Can it read minds now?
Like, how much creative license does the rock have with regards to how it gives it to her, you know? And how it interprets the wish as well. Like, this is... the rock just breaks this film completely. In so many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, there are ways that you can do MacGuffins, and then there are ways not to do them.
This
This
is
is
a
an
classic
example
This
of
is
how
one of
not
the-
to.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like you've got the Infinity Stones on one side, and then you have this rock thing on the other.
It's like Marvel does rocks. Ah, we'll show them we can do a rock too, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's like I can imagine Patty Jenkins in the writing room, just high fiving people. It's like, yeah, we nailed the rock, bro. And then you can hear Dwayne Johnson coming in. Oh, you've got Black Adam ready. It's like, oh no, not you, Rock. We're talking actual dildo Rock. It's like, oh, okay, bye. But yeah, like, if the rules were set in stone,
Oh.
no pun intended that time, like, it would have made for a really interesting thing, because I did kind of like an aspect of how the wish was obtained by Maxwell later on, which we'll come to eventually. But yeah, because it's so inconsistent, you're like, oh well, fuck it, I guess. You know, it's like that Jonah Hill,
Fuck logic.
that Jonah Hill meme, you know, where it's like, oh fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think the whole thing with the rock that's very perplexing is the fact that there's literally nothing more to the plot than that.
It's like Rock do things, haha, at the end.
pretty much, yeah.
Exactly, like the only way that it's building out the plot is that people's wishes are getting more and more out of control, and I can see that was the point. I can see that was the point.
I have many issues with the wishes. We'll get to the wishes.
Me too.
But there's nothing substantial to it, really. Like
No.
it just builds and builds until you get to the climax of the film.
And it's
And,
like, yeah,
and even
there we
then, that
go.
has its problems, because why does Maxwell want to destroy the world when his kid is right there and he's doing everything for his kid?
Mainly, I feel like that's because at that point the Rock's taken over his personality and meshed with him.
I'd love to agree with
Kinda
you,
how I read it.
like, but that is the best theory we have, so I'll go with it. Like, there are no references in the film to support that, but that is the best theory we have.
Yeah.
So
Absolute power corrupts.
Again, that's just
absolutely.
what I thought, and I think it might be just me reaching to try and make sense.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from it, and you've also got the idea of absolute power corrupts absolutely, and I suppose you could say that's what was happening here, but it's not really it's not really explained that way.
No.
But
But yes, anyway, and so Diane makes a not wish, but I guess the stone can read her mind, so there we go.
yeah, so Steve is brought back because we saw his watch go wobbly for a second.
Yeah, it went ooh.
And then we have this fucking conversation with Kristen Wiig.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro.
There is-
So, oh wait, she doesn't wish yet, does she? She wishes
No,
later.
she has to wish. They're having dinner now.
Oh.
Like we already talked about it, because she goes from one topic to the next in such rapid succession, in such an
Oh,
unstructured
you're
way.
so funny.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
You're so funny, what the hell
It's like,
did she say?
I guess I'll take your word for it, Diana. And like, Gal Gadot, if you tell me she's funny, I will believe she is funny, because you're just so pretty and I don't want to hurt you. But if you're asking me honestly, it was not funny. Like, a lot of this episode has just me being going, Gal Gadot, I love you. But yeah, it's like they come on to the topic of, oh, your past boyfriends, in such an awkward way.
Yeah.
Because it goes
Yeah,
from
like I don't get out much. It's never really been my thing. Oh, I thought you would have been popular.
out
And
all the
then
time, all night, all day, all night, out with people. Do you have anyone you love? It's like, holy shit, whoa, conversational whiplash.
went
Escalated,
from
yeah.
0 to 100.
I'd just be like, I kind of don't see how that's your business. And also, we were talking about not getting out much. How do you make that leap?
Yeah. But, yeah, Dana talks about, her dead pilot, and that was kind of it? Question mark?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So,
Like,
yeah, I don't remember anything else.
I feel as though that scene was all about building the friendship, but the dialogue is so off and contrived that
Yeah.
it doesn't really do anything. Well, at least not for me.
Nope. I'm just kind of like, okay, sure.
like, that was, so 25 and a half. 7:20. Okay, so that was like a 2.5 minute conversation, and all we learned was Kristen Wiig is allegedly funny, and Diana loves Steve.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear the joke that she said.
Me
Yeah.
too. Maybe it was funny. Like, oh.
Like, that scene could have opened one of two ways. They could have told the joke, or they could have kept out the line, "Oh, you're so funny," and they
Yeah.
went for the third option of just cutting straight to, "Oh, you're so funny."
It's like,
Hmm.
okay, but if you're telling us it's funny, we don't get to find it funny.
Yeah, like, when was the last time Deadpool had to tell us he's funny, right?
Yeah, can you just see Deadpool just in every scene, just like, did you get it? It's a fourth wall break. No, there's a bit where he goes, oh my god, a fourth wall break in a fourth wall break, and it's funny.
Yeah, and it's like, that's one of the few times I even like TJ Miller, where he goes, "You look like a topographical map of Utah." I was like, what the fuck was that? That was amazing. Oh. But see, when you're funny, you don't have to tell us you're funny. When you
Yeah,
tell us
like,
you're funny,
it's-
it shows you're insecure.
So much of that scene was characters basically saying who they are and what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a bit of a tangent, but do you guys think that this guy in the corner, I'll send a picture now, in the corner just remind you a little bit about Seth Green? A little bit?
I can see it.
Yes, I can see it.
Howard the Duck right there.
Yep.
Oh my god, like, yeah. But, yeah, this is a really odd conversation, and considering it takes up 2.5 minutes of screen time, we don't really get much. Diana's lonely, Barbara's lonely and horny, and really wants relationship-tisms, and that's it.
Yep.
Pornhub is a thing, woman. It's fine. You'll be fine. I don't think Pornhub came up in the last 2 episodes, which is interesting.
Nope.
But
That's a record.
I know, right? I'm learning to behave. So now we move on to Barbara walking home, and she's so nice. She gives a homeless man some food.
Yep.
Yay. Good things.
And then she gets attacked by a drunk man.
Yes.
And this is exactly what I was talking about in the mall scene, where I was like, "Oh yeah, family friendly," and then absolutely
now
not
the
family
phone
friendly.
is
possible
very
rape. And it's
grim.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
hang on.
Why is this here? Oh dear.
Complete tonal change out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
I was watching it and I'm like, I am uncomfortable.
And I'm like,
Is
okay.
this here?
So, once again, an example of a scene not needing to exist.
Nope.
This or the one where she kills him. So,
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Again, like when I watched the reviewer was like, "This movie really seems to hate men in
Oh,
terms of portraying them as shitty," and I was like, "Yeah, kind of."
do you know what? Maybe a controversial take, but I think this film treated men slightly better than Birds of Prey did.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I feel like it.
But I agree. It has a terrible opinion of
Mm,
men. Um, because this guy, rapist, the only two nice people we see is the homeless black dude we just saw and Steve
and
Trevor. That's
yeah,
it.
and it just.
You
It's
could
like
say
most of the
Max's son
time,
as well, but
yeah. Most of the time, there are either men leering at Wonder Woman, men leering at Barbara, or, being really gross and trying to assault them.
absolutely.
Like, look,
And
I
I'm
get
like,
it.
what are you trying to say?
Like,
What is this actually adding to the movie? Because it doesn't seem like it's a movie that's tackling that.
no, like,
So I don't know why it's there.
and this sucks because considering the fact that a couple of weeks ago we watched Promising Young Woman, this is so
Yeah,
pathetic in comparison.
absolutely. Like, yeah, Promising Young Woman is at least consistent with its tone. It doesn't try to be like all happy and then be like, oh look, assault.
Literally. um, but yeah, but it's okay because Wonder Woman, you know, destroys him first. And you know what? I would posit that Wonder Woman didn't even need to toss him into the garbage, literally. Like, all she needed to do was say, hey, get away from her. And it's like, oh, fucking hell, another woman. Fine, I'll leave her alone. Walk away. There you go. Less intrusive and a lot less violent, but
Strength in numbers.
strength in
Strength
numbers.
in numbers. Get it. I get it was supposed to be empowering, but another thing that a lot of people argue is like, why didn't you fight back? And it's like, there's a very good reason because that usually leads to more violence. So having him just walk away would have made more sense.
Yeah. And plus, like, in a situation like this, chances are the guy will get, oh, fucking hell, witnesses, never mind, bye. Situation diffused. Like David says, strength in numbers. But here, like, okay, he's drunk, wanting a piece of Christian wig, and he gets fucking dismantled in every possible way instead. Um,
I understand why, and I get it. I think maybe it was like, look, you can't do this. That kind of behavior is not okay, but throwing him in a trash
crippling
can.
him is not the way. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
So, and this is right before Christian Wiig goes and wishes to be just like Diana. And this is where a lot of the creative interpretation of The Rock goes as well. Because, okay, so she had no idea Diana was Wonder Woman. So, did The Rock just give Diana wholesale to Barbara? Or was it just a matter of, like, The Rock just assuming, like, how does this fucking Rock work is my big question.
It's a good question.
Because if she's
like,
wanting to be Diana in her mind, then she'll be getting the physical qualities like, oh, she's personable, people like her and shit like that. She wouldn't get super strong. But The Rock is like, nah, bro, you're getting the full package.
yeah. It's very weird. It was like, I want to be confident like Diana. Basically, I want to be sexy like Diana. There's no mention of I want Diana's strength. But I guess maybe the words I want to be just like Diana. Maybe The Rock was like, okay.
I think The Rock took her very seriously by being, I want to be just like Diana.
Yeah.
It took literally.
Like,
well, how did it know Diana was like that?
Exactly, you know, like, and how did she know? Because that's not the thing she wanted.
I don't think she did know, to be honest. Like I say, I think she just said, I want to be just like Diana, thinking, I want to be pretty and confident.
I mean, she did say later in the film that she wasn't expecting to, get powers or
strong.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it was full of surprises.
Yeah, so my big criticism and indictment for that is The Rock needs to be sorted out. So if the rules for The Rock were distinct and clear and we've seen how it's been used properly, then I'd be okay with that happening and her discovering, holy shit, I've got powers. Like, I'm okay with that happening, but the rules are so inconsistent with this fucking dildo that you're left with more questions.
Yeah. Also, I find it really annoying that it's like, I can't walk in heels.
But now I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, one, why does she need to be
Character
able to walk in heels? Why is that a thing?
And
Walking in heels does not make you sexy, just saying.
I love the fact that she just took off her skirt and extended her shirt, and that's all that was needed for her to be quote-unquote sexy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck no.
But yeah, the next day, she's seeing all sorts of stuff going on. Like, people are noticing her, and, like, she's good in heels, and people remember her name, and she gets to meet Maxine Lord. Or Maximilian Lord.
Life can be good, but it can be better.
Oh,
Yep.
This film could be good, but it can be better.
Can be a lot better.
Oh, fucking hell. Like, understatement of the year.
This film is bad. It could be better.
Like, towards the end of the first Wonder Woman, we were like, oh, but what if the film was like this, this, and this, and we were just more focused on building a better film. So, yeah.
I mean, we've went on a lot of tangents with this one.
Yeah.
It's the one last time. Seriously, the tangents were from the start, going everywhere.
But, yeah, so Max Lord has donated, and it appears that he has a very particular interest in the dildo.
Yeah?
And Diana comes along.
How did he know about it?
I'm actually kind of uncomfortable referring to it as a dildo.
Yeah.
So every time you're going to be...
It's a dildo if you're brave enough.
And if you want the extra $100 tip, you got to take it all the way. But I'm just imagining Mando with a dildo now, and I'm just like, no, let's not.
Yeah, let's not.
Game of Thrones, maybe.
No.
I mean, it's right on brand for Game of Thrones, isn't it?
I mean, in character as well. But this. Oh, I've got another screenshot for you guys.
Go for it.
What?
Just how excited does Max Lord look right now?
He looks so happy.
I am so excited. I'm just happy to be here.
But yeah, like, it's weird how Diana is really aggressive in this scene, while Barbara is like, hey, like, what's going on, dude? Like, we're still bros. Why are you like this? Why are you tripping on me, bro? And then Diana is just really passive aggressive in this scene for reasons. The mythical reasons once again.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
It's because she's got bad vibes about him.
I suppose yes.
She can also probably see the change in Barbara, and then that combined with how Max is acting, can probably see that he potentially be a predator. Like, yeah, you get what I mean.
Yeah, like, especially if this is taking place the night after.
Yeah, like, she wants to look
the day
after
after she literally almost got attacked. Yeah.
You can make the argument of
to look after her.
She's being protective. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice if we had evidence for that. instead of this assumption.
Because Max is really coming on hard to both of them. So, like, it's completely understandable why she wanted to be there with someone who she probably considers a friend at this point after their meal.
See, I would be on board with that if not for the fact that he's consistently at that level of behavior with everyone.
Yeah.
You know, if he's making an exception towards Barbara, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, being protective, fine. And if it's only towards Barbara, by the way. But, you know, with the
museum curator, with her as well.
With the museum curator, with Diana, with Barbara, with everyone he comes into contact with, he is just that same peak energy level. So, like,
I mean, there's peak energy level, and then there's also the way that he's flirting with both of them, and yeah.
I can see it that way. I can understand your perspective. Absolutely. I would put the onus more on Diana taking a little bit more of a high road as opposed to being passive aggressive towards Max Lord, because again, like, for all intents and purposes, very successful, has a lot of followers, very charismatic, very generous from everything that we've been told up on until this point in the film, and willing to help out if he can, very positive, willing to help. Like, there's a lot of positives towards Max Lord alongside, if you categorize that as flirting, okay, as flirting. But if it's flirting and he's being also positive, then it's considering that we've come right off of the rapist dude, it's a distinct contrast. You know, like, he's very much.
But maybe, like,
go on.
I don't know. Maybe Diane just doesn't trust men at this point.
Unless it's Steve. But
men aside from Steve, maybe she doesn't trust any other men.
She's just pining for the Steve. That's all. But I just thought it was a bit too aggressive. So yeah. But yeah, Max Lord just takes it on the chin and then continues to be his positive self and carries on being a positive person all the way through. Okay, so I'm gonna say this right now. Max Lord is the best character in this film in terms of writing. I will say that right now. And we will explore why as we go on. But yeah, like, then we got to see Max Lord in Black Gold, his headquarters, and I love the scene where he's in the elevator because his smile just dissipates and he's just portrayed as a really depressed person who seems to be of poor health because he's looking for vitamins. But that goes nowhere. So weird.
Like, why does he need the vitamins? Does he have a health condition? It's never explained.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a really interesting contrast because he's this really personable, charismatic person in public, but deep down he's just like, holy shit, like, this business is going under, like, I'm having no luck, I'm past due on so many of my bills, and so we're getting character, and I'm like, oh, something to latch onto. Character. Writing. And then, like, he has a son. Oh my god, like, a son that can't be related to him because he's Asian, and Pedro Pascal is Latino. But we don't know anything about the mother, so it's the nebulous black vault that mothers go into in Disney. She's in there somewhere.
In a Warner Brothers
she
film.
She is mentioned.
Yeah, she's mentioned but she just never turns up.
But
that's all.
We never see her. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. And then all of a sudden, like, his kid comes along and he's surprised and he has to change his behavior so that his kid sees him as the positive bro instead of the stressed out bro. So, oh, we're getting layers. He cares about his family. Way, you know?
Yep.
Like, already, I'm so excited to talk about Max because we're getting something from him. As opposed... And we're at the 35-minute mark, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man!
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, much better movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Spider-Man 2 in so long, so...
I remember I watched this with Mikey, and I forgot about the scene where he basically murders a bunch of people, and I was just like, oh shit, maybe I should have checked this first, but he was fine.
Oh, Doc Ock. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
thinking,
I was just
when
for a
did
moment,
Spider-Man
like,
kill people mass, you know? Like, whoa.
I was so
Not Spider-Man,
confused.
sorry,
I was like, wait, what?
Sorry. I thought I mentioned Doc Ock, but I didn't.
Oh, that's fine.
It's alright.
I do that a lot. I'm like, I thought I mentioned that. Nope. Nope, you're just confusing everybody. Oops.
No, it's fine. But, yeah, shockingly though, in his office is one of his business partners. Ha! And it turns out he is very broke and his oil fields are empty. So, one more layer of character. So, this guy really believes in his business. He wants to do right by his family as best he can.
Yeah.
And he wants to make sure that his partner's money is not wasted. Like, we're getting so much right now in terms of character, and considering it's been so long, it's kind of out of left field in a weird way. Like, character in a film, what a novel thought.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Fun fact. Max's business partner, would you call him that? Business partner?
Yeah.
For the moment, yeah.
Yeah, he's a comics character called Simon Stagg.
Oh.
And William Sadler portrayed him on The Flash.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
I like William Sadler.
Fair. Oh, Stag. I remember now. Oh, interesting. Cool.
Yeah, and nothing more to add than that. Just
Cool.
comics character.
But yeah, to finish off this wonderful scene, he's telling his son, look, don't worry, like, he's lying, I will come through for you, and I will be a good man, and I'll look after you because I'm your baby daddy. So,
Yep.
genuinely, like, this entire scene is the best scene in the film, unironically. Like,
Pedro just loves playing a dad.
Yep.
I guess, but
And this, Mando, we can be heroes.
Oh, God. We can be heroes.
like, it's so weird that a scene so interesting is in this film
Yeah.
so late in the game.
There's a lot of that in this movie.
Oh. But yeah, back to Diana, I suppose. And she finds that Max Lord has been looking for the dildo for a while because she finds the receipt at the bottom of the bucket where it was held in to begin with because he bought it in the auction in the black market. At least that's what I'm thinking happened, because I don't know shit about how it got here.
Which begs the question, why did the CIA, who gave it to the museum in the first place,
not check the fucking boxes?
Exactly. How did they miss that? With the name Max Lord on it.
I know. Like, when I first saw this film, I was thinking, wait, if Max Lord already owns this, why is it at the museum still? You know, like, shouldn't he have it now? And I thought he bought it from the museum initially. And then later I clocked on, oh yeah, robbery, black market, gotcha. That makes more sense. Oh. This film makes me feel retarded, and that's saying something. Because I don't need help knowing that. Oh god, next we've got Kristen Wiig trying on sexy dresses in the shop.
Oh god.
And the woman is just like, oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm like, that's how dresses work. You wear them.
Yeah.
There's nothing... That's what annoys me. I'm like, there is nothing really different about Kristen Wiig in this film. She stops wearing glasses and puts makeup on, and it's supposed to be like, yeah, these things make you sexy. And I'm like, this film's supposed to be empowering to women.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Do you guys remember Not Another Teen Movie with Chris Evans?
Yes, I do. That
You
is-
remember
have
the
not seen
makeover
it.
scene where the Cruel
Yeah.
Intentions girl literally takes off the glasses and
Yeah.
does the ponytail and goes, "Oh, I'm genius." That's this scene.
Yeah, that is the scene.
I mean, there's a lot of that in movies. Like, just look at The Breakfast Club.
Yeah. It angers me when I see that in movies because I'm like, no, female empowerment, right, should be you look fine the way you are. You don't have to change for people. Change for you if you want to.
Okay, so at least
Sorry.
in the Breakfast Club, it was a significant difference.
Yes.
Like everything about her was flipped over in the Breakfast Club, whereas here it's just, oh, I let my hair down and I took off the glasses, yay. And it's literally the exact same thing that Not Another Teen Movie was making fun of, only it's
Yeah.
a joke there.
Yeah. It just annoys me because it's like she doesn't look any different, and also why does she need to look different?
Like even Anne Hathaway's transformation in The Princess Diaries was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, she's practically the same.
Yeah. Basically. And it's just really irritating.
And then we got the
This is a
gala.
worn out trope. Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh god, this film is a worn out trope.
Yeah. It's just one big giant worn out trope.
How many hours have we been talking about this now?
3 hours
Three?
on the dot, literally 3 hours just turned.
How long are we into it?
40 minutes.
That's not
This
too
is
bad.
40 minutes now.
Yeah. Nothing has happened in this movie. There have been no more action sequences since the mall.
Holy shit, yeah, we haven't seen Wonder Woman in like 20 minutes. Which
I'll
is,
go back to Spider-Man 2. You don't see Spider-Man 2 as Spider-Man very much in that movie, but it's still a way better movie.
fucking hell. I would say Suicide Squad is a better film at this point. And that's not something I usually say. But this is weird. This is a weird scene because every single fucking thing with the penis in this scene is just leering at Gal Gadot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
alright,
It's like, ew,
look,
gross. What
I
about
get
women?
it.
What about lesbians in this scene? What about bisexual people? They would be leering at her too.
So here's the
Or
thing.
just people not doing it because, that's...
People have
Strange.
Yeah,
lives.
that too.
Um,
Or yeah, just people being like, ooh, because sometimes you do notice people, but you don't leer at them for the entire time they're walking.
Because I remember when I first started watching the film, and you get to the sequence where people are exercising in the mall, and you've just got loads of people lined up gawking at girls. And I'm just like,
Ugh.
does that really have to be included here? Like, I get that people do that, but seriously.
Why is it there? Yeah.
that face though.
Ew.
That's creepy.
But like that's the thing.
If anyone looked at me like that, I would literally be like, could you not?
Like,
Please.
and that's every guy in the scene. Just looking at her like this, and I'm like, okay, look, I get it. Guys are pigs, women hate us. I get it, fine, whatever. But you know what? Men are kind of cool sometimes. You know?
This is what irritates me. It's like feminism is supposed to benefit men too. It isn't supposed to be like, I hate men. It's supposed to be like, we should be on equal footing. We should treat each other respectfully. We shouldn't be like, I hate men. That's not feminism. Sorry, my feminism rant is over now.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind.
It just makes me angry because it gives it a bad name, and it does make people go, well, feminists just hate men. And it's like, no.
No, just these feminists, not all feminists. It's like not all guys are pigs. That's how I take it. Like it's
When it's like feminism hates men, it's like point missed.
like I don't really consider myself feminist, but there are very particular reasons why. Like I've never considered myself feminist, but that's because my default is treating everyone equally anyway, so I don't like to call myself as something that I'm the default of. I am just me. So
I get that, but like literally the whole point of it is just equality.
yeah,
And I get the whole why don't we just call it equality? It's because for a long time it's not been equal. It's still not quite equal. That's why.
Definitely.
And I'm gonna stop rambling about feminism now because we'll be here all day.
I mean, you're absolutely right.
I mean, I just wanted to throw it in there because this film constantly is like, "Oh, look how empowering I am," and it's like, but it's not very empowering in an equal way. It's kind of shitting on men a little bit, which I'm not for.
I find it weird as well because the writers, producers, and the director consider themselves feminist. That's what really baffles me.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that's what we got Steve for.
Yeah.
Steve!
Steve.
Isn't that the monkey from Cloudy of Chance of
Thank
Meatballs?
you
Isn't
for
that-
Yes.
recognizing.
Steve.
And this is a weird. Oh my god. Okay, so aside from men being evil, there's just a weird scene in general. Because Diana's looking for Pedro, and Pedro's teleporting left and right. Fine.
Yep.
Then
I guess that's a new ability of his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
magic.
He was in Game of Thrones after all.
yeah, but he wasn't one of the
I forgot he was in Game of Thrones.
He wasn't one of the teleporting bros though, so he was
True,
the Viper.
That was after his time.
Or during his time, just a different continent.
True.
But and then we've got Kristen Wiig come along, and every guy's leering at her too. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So
Guys, can we stop?
yeah, then Diana keeps missing Pedro, and Pedro finds Kristen Wiig. Hey, they talk and they start making out in the office, and
As you
Pedro
do.
takes the rock.
Mhm.
Okay. But this is also where we get to meet Steve-O. And I'm not talking about the guy from
Steve.
Jackass.
New Steve. Steve.
Steve.
I
Oh my
love
God.
Steve in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
You know, I just love the very subtle way where Pedro just kind of just sneaks the dildo round his back. Like
Yeah, it's just like, yoing.
Like the only thing missing is scene would be perfect.
The scene where we finally figure out Steve's back. So many issues with it.
Before Steve, we got this bro, yet another person who apparently is just there to explain why men are terrible.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
White House dude. Now there are two reasons why he's there. A, he is clearly a 4, trying to go after a 700 in terms of the beauty scale. And we gotta set up the White House scene later.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Killing 3 stones with 1 bird.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets ignored, typically, because, you know, why would anyone as beautiful as Gal Gadot pay him any attention? And we get Steve-O! But he's looking slightly
Or,
different.
as he's credited in the film.
Handsome man.
Handsome man.
I mean, to be fair, he is pretty handsome.
He is very handsome. He's also known for being in Hallmark Christmas movies.
Which warms my heart, to be honest.
And
Yes,
which
fine.
comes right back around at the end of the film.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think that is genuinely the only reason they made it Christmas at the end of the film.
Like,
So
I'm,
he could be in his element.
It's
I'm
all
curious.
I've got to.
like, they
Yeah.
named him by his most defining feature, which is handsome man. What if he wasn't handsome? What would you call him?
Yeah.
Like, imagine
That's
if
a
he
good
was...
question.
Imagine if he was brown, like me, or black. Like, would it be brown guy?
I mean,
Like
That was-
Samuel
I
L.
would
Jackson.
hope not.
Like Samuel L. Jackson from Sea of Love, where he was just credited as black guy. Like, I wonder if they would have done that. I hope not. but I kind of wish they did because that would have been funny.
I hope not.
I hope not to.
Oh,
But yeah, the fact that they just refer to him as handsome man is just kind of gross, really.
I mean, it's what he's there for. Eye candy.
I
What else
mean,
do you
I
want?
know, but
It's his defining trait in the film.
Yeah, he's not a
Anyway.
character.
Here we go. Anyway, the issues with it is, why did we see the handsome man then magically turn into Chris Pine?
Okay, so what I think the film
Why?
was trying to do was to say that we are seeing Chris Pine from Diana's perspective, but in
I get
actuality, it is still handsome guy.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I know the thing is, why did it have to be handsome guy? Because as we've established, this Rock can do whatever the fuck it wants, so why not just
So
bring
yeah,
Steve back?
like even though I provided an explanation, believe you me, the problem is not there. The problem is everything surrounding that.
Yeah. And also, it just kind of basically says Diane's basically tunnel visioning and not considering the fact that there's a different human being involved here as well.
Okay,
and it
so
kind of makes Diana seem a little bit selfish, not gonna lie.
oh yeah, she is. So imagine if handsome guy was married. Imagine if he was gay.
I know.
Imagine if
I
he
thought-
was
I
going
know.
through a divorce. Imagine if he had a kid. Like,
All sorts of things that could
Like,
have been going on
fucking
in
hell.
his life.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. And Diana's just like, I just see you. It's like, Diana, you're kind of being a bitch in this situation.
like Diana, I don't give a shit if you see this person. At the end of the day, no.
Still there. Bad. No. Wrong.
And it's like, on top of all that, as well as his defining trait as him being handsome, there's also so many things about his character that you see around his house. Like,
Yeah.
they could have literally picked up a picture of him and his family or whatever, and there's
Yeah.
I mean-
nothing taken into consideration. The only thing that they point out is that he's got a lot
He's
of
an
pictures
engineer.
of himself.
Yeah, and that he's an engineer. That's all we know about him.
Yeah,
that-
and imagine
that
if there
also
was a
goes
diploma
into
on the
him
wall
being-
that said, "Oh, this is his name. The diploma goes to fucking Alex fucking
Yeah.
McTavish or something like that." Okay, cool.
won-
We got a name.
I wonder if they'd still credit him as handsome man as
It
well.
wouldn't
I don't
surprise me.
know.
Like no matter what anyone's defining trait is, like
You're not
They-
be bothered
I-
giving
I-
the character a name, really.
yeah, like I think that the character deserves more than that. The person certainly, like, if they shouldn't just be called handsome man.
Yeah. If you were gonna bring Chris Pine back, because let's face it, this is the only reason why he's involved is because they just wanted a reason to bring Chris Pine back into the movie.
Which
Why
I don't
did they
blame
need?
them.
Yeah,
but, see,
I
here's
don't
the
blame
thing.
them either. I like a bit of Chris Pine, but
The thing
why
is, like,
did they
you got
need?
the perfect. They had
Yeah.
the perfect way of getting around it, the magic fucking rock, but they still fucked it
Yeah.
up, and that's fucking impressive.
Yeah, and I get it. It takes something from you, but that doesn't explain why he's in a different body. Because literally, the thing it starts taking from Diane is her powers. So even the
my
fact
God.
that he's in a different body, that
Okay.
still doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so big issue with how it takes things. So everyone else gets their things taken immediately, but Diana, it's a gradual thing. Why?
Oh yeah,
Literally, and
so dumb.
it's why I exclaimed before when you said the party scene is like 40 minutes in. Did you say?
We are at 46 minutes.
It's why I exclaimed, because I was like, whoa, that means that she starts losing her powers like an hour and a half into the film.
Yeah.
Or
In
something
Cairo,
to
yeah.
that extent.
Yeah.
Something
Also-
to that extent, anyway.
You wouldn't even notice she's losing her fucking powers.
Yeah, because she's
Yeah, 'cause she's
teleporting,
not
she's
using-
using her magicism, she's holding up against fights. She's doing fine, considering she's losing her power. Fucking hell.
I mean, it's like, oh, she gets injured. I'm like, yeah, she gets injured in the first Wonder Woman movie as well. That has nothing to do with whether she has powers or not.
Yeah, like, she's pretty vulnerable anyway. Bullets can kill her. What's your point? But it's like...
everything surrounding the stone and the whole Steve Trevor situation just bugs me. Everything from handsome man to how stone works.
Who implied she had sex with this man.
Which, like...
consent in all sorts of ways.
Many wrong
So,
things.
you guys know how open I am to media. Like, I've watched some messed up stuff. You guys know this.
Yeah.
This is the first time I was like, I'm not comfortable watching this.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've said that about anything. And it's not some Japanese gore fest film. No, it's fucking Wonder Woman 84. Congratulations, Patty. Well done.
Good job.
You
made a
there.
body horror movie.
When you said Wonder Woman 84, it kind of made me think, whoa, I've missed a whole other 82 movies.
Bazinga.
I watched an interesting video talking about the ethics of body swapping, and in the video, the person doing the video was like, it's kind of interesting how what made me start thinking about this was Wonder Woman 84, because there's a lot of body swap movies out there.
Yeah.
Like, you've got Freaky Friday, which is so good, and then you've got, like, I think there's one called It's a Boy Girl thing. I vaguely remember.
And then there's the change up with Ryan Reynolds. There's plenty.
And then it's kind of like, it's weird how in those movies you don't really immediately jump to this is highly unethical or this is highly not good. And one of the reasons they were talking about this is because of the tone of the movie. Because in Freaky Friday, you're busy laughing at all the antics. And they're not actually swapped bodies for that long. It's usually like over the course of like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
in Wonder Woman 84, this is going on for like months, possibly.
I don't even think it's that long.
I'm not entirely sure.
I think it's like a week, if at most.
A week tops, I'd say.
It's going on for a long time, and it's mainly because the tone of the movie is serious that it kind of just sticks out more to you.
Like not to mention,
in a way,
like in other body swap movies, it's kind of like there's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Like one person's in one body, one person's in the other, and they've got to work out the situation of how to get back to their original bodies. Whereas in this film, no, Steve Trevor is completely taken over this guy's body with no consent or anything or any way to get back whatsoever, unless
like handsome guy is essentially floating in a nebulous dimension with eldritch creatures for all we know.
Yeah, we have no idea what's happened to him, so it's not even a case of like traditional body swap.
But see,
where it's like
with those other body swap films,
people have swapped because of there's like a lesson they have to learn or something. In this case, it's just literally so he could come back to life.
Like in a lot of other body swap films, like you said, there is a core lesson that the characters have to learn, and also the consciousness that is inhabiting the body treats the body with so much respect because they know it's not theirs. Like I think in Freaky Friday with fucking Jamie Lee Curtis, like the only time the mother chose out the daughter was when she was riding the bike, because it's like, why are you riding a bike with my body? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But after that...
Or also the bit where she gets her ear pierced and she's like, what did you do to my ear? That's fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when they acknowledge it, when they address it, when they come to terms with it, it works because you're working through character and understanding the limits that people are comfortable with when their bodies are taken to the extremes. And I, like, thinking about this, like, imagine if you got a body swap film, but the two consciousness just finds the other body so comfortable that they're like, you know what, I'm kind of happy being in your life and I'm happy being in your life. Imagine if that was a scenario, how fascinating it would be to explore. You know, where both of them are consensual towards inhabiting each other's body permanently.
Yeah.
But here, handsome man is hanging out with Cthulhu in a different dimension, and Chris Pine is putting this body through all sorts of stuff. Battles, fucking gunfights, almost being stabbed, and Leaving
Yeah.
the body in the middle of a fucking riot and having sex with Gal Gadot, like, that's a lot of fucking shit going on with this body.
Yeah, and he's not even aware of it, and like he's probably not
Literally.
gonna have any memory of any of these situations.
Imagine if he
He
was
didn't
married.
recognize Diana.
Imagine if he was married and the next day the wife comes home and finds him in bed with another woman. Imagine,
Yeah,
like,
that would have been
Jesus
a big
Christ!
Yeah.
The
There's a lot
implications of what this means has just not been taken into consideration, and I find
No.
that fucking baffling. No one brought this up beforehand in
Yeah.
production. I mean,
I have no idea how.
Like, if you're
how
gonna
this
have a
could
magic,
possibly have happened.
yeah, if you're gonna have a magic stone in a movie, it's not that difficult to bring characters back. You could just be like, "Yep, she wished for him back. He's back. Ta-da!"
you know,
But no,
at least even in Aladdin and the genie, he said, "Okay, you can wish for anything, but here are the rules. You can't do this, 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 and this. Got it? Okay, go." The rules are established.
Yeah.
Here, you can seemingly do everything if the script tells you you can, but you can't have this thing because the script told you can't. And even
Yeah.
then, like, I would have all, like, aside from the sex part and the putting the body into danger part, like, if one of them said, "Okay, look, I need to not
dangerous.
do this
Yeah.
because fucking hell, this isn't my
Dangerous.
body."
This is someone else's life. They could have.
Destroyed.
They could be doing so many other things with their lives rather than, being controlled by this random person out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like, it annoys me that the only reason that Chris Pine's that Steve's just like, "You need to let me go." It's not even for the case of I'm in someone else's body.
No, it's for, yeah.
You need your powers back.
Like, this human I guess it's because it's a man. Because this film has
Clearly.
made its state as position
This film
very
is
clear.
just like, no, men are trash. They don't deserve any humanity.
I mean, we're just there for reproductive purposes, aren't we? So fuck it, I guess.
Clearly, that's all you're good for.
And opening the pickle jar.
Just to reiterate, I am very much joking.
Oh yeah, it sends the fucking tone. It's like Chandler Bing from Friends. It's like, sense the tone.
Yes.
Oh.
I wish Handsome Man got a name.
I do too. He deserves a name. He
He
deserves so much better.
He looks
Just
like
to
a Harry.
He
I'm
might
gonna
Harry.
call him Harry.
Okay.
Just
Harry
to
from
ring,
now on.
Harry.
just to ring home just how much the film mishandled this topic. At least give the guy a name.
Yeah. Just, I don't know.
Even if it came at the end of the film, like, it wouldn't be great. But
Even if he was like,
acknowledge
"Hi, my name is Harry."
Just introduce himself to Wonder Woman at the end. I would have been fine with
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Well, fine with that particular aspect of it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the rest.
There was
the
nothing
rest-
okay about this.
No.
The rest would have been all sorts of wrong, but at least he would have had a name.
Yeah. I'm still 100% like, why was this like Patty Jenkins actively did this as a choice and she didn't need to, and I am very confused.
It's like he's not even a person in the film. He's a complete plot device.
If this was
And not
I'm
even a
sorry,
good one?
right? If this was done to a woman, the outcry would be ridiculous.
Yes. But Amy,
This film would
it's a
be
man. It's
boycotted.
okay if it's a man. That's the point.
This is why it makes me angry, because it's like, I'm sorry, if that was how a woman character was treated, the Twitter mob would be like, cancel this movie now.
Genuinely, like, that's what I've always said, it's like, just, if you're not sure if you can do something or not, flip the genders. If it's not okay then, it's not okay now. Problem solved.
Exactly.
But no, I guess thinking was a bit too difficult for the filmmakers, so...
Yeah, just, again, you have a magic rock that can just do what it wants. And how do you get that wrong? I mean, the rock has problems anyway. Like, it still would have problems, but like... Oh, it hurts my brain.
Yes.
Like, you still could have brought him back. You didn't need another person's body to do that. I am so very confused.
I think I'm gonna need a shower after this conversation because of this.
Feel gross.
David, what were you gonna say?
It's like you were saying, regardless of any background that someone may have, like whether it's race, gender, sexuality, through any form of that, the way this character or plot device was written was just completely mishandled, and he shouldn't have been a thing. Like, it's clearly not a good thing. And then to also go in the direction of not even giving the character a name. Like, I'm clearly hung up on this. Like,
Yeah.
like
It's hard not to be, though. Like, the more you talk about it, the more you watch the film, the more you're just like, this is so wrong on so many levels, and I don't understand why it...
Like, that's the thing, you know? Like, I think the character not having a name is a significant issue because if without a name, we are not, aside from our visual characteristics, we're not able to recognize others. We always associate people with names, and the lack of a name means a lack of something that is very core to you. You know, like, okay, this is a bit of a tangent, but do you guys remember that SpongeBob episode where he becomes so good at being a waiter, but he threw out his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like, that's how important a name is. Like, a name, like, because he couldn't, like, I can't believe I'm talking about SpongeBob right now, but hear me out. Like, because he couldn't handle not having a name, like, the entire veneer of the perfect waiter just crumbled away into the ether, because the name, the identifier, the signifier of who you are is so important in so many ways, because it, in a really core way, it's what makes you you. It's what identifies you as you. So without that identifier, you are nothing but an object in the eyes of the viewer. And when you are seen as an object, you are a lot less emotionally involved. Well, writing helps in that aspect, but the first aspect is, okay, what is your name? You know, Star Wars, even the droids have names, R2-D2, C-3PO. You can go to John Carter and you can, you know, fucking the aliens Willem Dafoe played, they've got names, you know? Like, every single aspect of what we are and how we identify things have names, and the lack of a name here is, for lack of a better way of saying it, it's perverse. It's very objectifying in many ways. So you are absolutely right to have a problem with him not having a name.
And on top of that, it's the way that it's handled in the film. It's as though it's not even important.
Yeah, it's not even addressed at once. It's
almost
addressed
as
in the
if,
way of, oh, this guy has a messy house. Haha, funny.
like, there's a moment later when they find out he's going to Cairo, but then Diana says, oh, we need to go to Cairo, but we can't go on a plane because you don't have a passport. Chris Pine doesn't have a passport, but Handsome Guy does. And they kind of forget that Handsome Guy is even a thing in this film.
Yeah.
Literally.
Also, they steal a fucking plane with his identity. So he's now on camera stealing a plane.
That's, the fucking
and he
logistics
could get
of
arrested.
that. There are so many instances. Like, he also went into the White House and fought the security detail of the president.
Yeah.
Not cool. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he, like, when he, like, regains his consciousness, he's gonna be like, what the hell? I did all these things? Because apparently no one forgets the events of this film.
Why do I have so many bruises on my body?
Like, what happened that week?
Why does my everything hurt?
Like, I had a couple of drinks, man. What the fuck happened?
Why does the and then he sees like a news report inside of the White House, and he's like, "Why does the White House look so familiar? Like the interior,
like why does that guy beating up Secret Service look so familiar?" Oh shit!
I feel like we've got deja vu.
Oh, I mean, David, you're under this like the deja vu part, that's assuming that he even knows what's happening to his body right now.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my god, imagine if he is conscious, but Steve Trevor's consciousness is at the top, so he's just watching Steve Trevor just
Do what he
demolish
wants.
things. Like, how fucking terrifying would that be?
I can't even imagine that would be the case, because he doesn't recognize Diana. Like, I get that it's been a couple of months. It's been half a year, but at the same time, because this is set in July, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna be going, oh, he was there all along in the body, like, that's even more horrifying.
Yep. It's not. Any way you look at it, it's horrifying, and it's horrifying with the lack of care they give this character.
Like, people can attempt to defend this. You're not gonna win, I'll tell you that much. So good luck. But yeah, have at it, you fucking deluded asshole who thinks this is okay. And I think that's the most venomous I've been towards anything in this entire series of podcasts.
I know Patty Jenkins tried to defend it.
I know she did, and I'm even more horrified that she's not even aware of how bad this is.
I'll just get it up right now, because I did see it earlier today. Jenkins stated that there were no issues with the plot aspect, because the film was following the trope of a body swap, similar to Big Freaky Friday, when it's really not at all.
Okay, so maybe she saw a different cut of Freaky Friday compared to the rest of us.
Yeah, Freaky Friday. They swap bodies and they are very much aware they're in each other's bodies, so they know what's happening.
Okay, so also, Patty, in order to have a body swap, you need to have a second fucking body.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I was thinking as well.
Not a body swap. It's actually very similar to a possession, but it is a body swap.
No, it's a possession.
Somebody else's
it's a possession.
It's more of a possession, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like you need an exorcist here.
So it's a body swap. Yeah, talking about it as if it's a body swap doesn't even work.
And then it's like you said, Dylan. Imagine if it wasn't a white dude that he took over. Imagine all the implications of that as well.
Yeah, that would be so. Oh.
Imagine if Raj from down the counter in the corner shop got taken over. Imagine if Helen from the office got taken over. Holy shit! Like, that's the thing. Like it's so unaware of what it's doing wrong.
Literally.
Oh my God, somebody tried to defend this by saying, and I quote, "The movie implies that if you revoke your wish, then much of your wish is revoked. Hence, even the sex Diana had with the guy possessed with Steve may have actually been eradicated from this movie's fabric of reality." Oh my God, you deluded asshole.
But
no.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Just okay, fucking okay. So there's nothing of that.
He shared this on Twitter and said exactly. I'm just like, no.
Okay, so here's the thing, you dumb fucking idiot. None of that is supported in the actual film. You just pulled that out of your ass. B, for example, I have very conservative beliefs because I grew up in an Eastern country. So if someone were to have sex with a girl without my consent, with using my body, I'd have a big fucking issue with that, alright? C, it doesn't matter if it's being eradicated or not. The fact that it happened in the first place is evidence enough that it happened. Just because it happened, you unwished it, and it magically went away does not make it okay. It still needs to be addressed, and it's not. You absolute fucking hobgoblin.
Yeah. Like, this person who's talking about why it's bad has basically said the same thing I said. Imagine if this was gender swapped. It's not okay.
Absolutely.
So it's therefore not okay in general.
Like, in any, like I said, any race, gender, sexuality, anything in that position it's just not right. And then also to be credited by any defining trait of who they are as a person would also be bad. Like handsome man, like what does that mean? Like, it's just horrible.
Like, imagine if it was a woman and her credit was beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, wow.
Oh, I didn't expect to get this angry.
Honestly, it's hard not to get angry because, again, the more you talk about it, the more you think about it. And then if you read Patty Jenkins' attempts to justify it, it's so gross because it's like, if you swap this round, it's not
just,
okay.
We're following the pattern of the first film. The more we try to read Patty Jenkins' justifications for the choices she made, the film just gets worse. It's a pattern with Wonder Woman and Patty Jenkins.
Again, the argument is also, we don't actually see the other guy's face, we see Chris Pine's face. That doesn't matter, you've already established that he's in a different
We get
body.
introduced as Handsome Man. We see Handsome Man in the mirror when he is talking about Handsome Man. When Chris Pine is talking about Handsome Man. We see him at the end of the fucking film. Who are these retarded people? Why do they exist? They shouldn't procreate. We don't need that much retardedness guiding our world any further. Fucking hell. Oh. I'm happy to move on from this if you guys are.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
let's just skip this entire plot.
To sum up, it's bad.
Yeah, we're not happy.
I got a little bit more passionate than I expected to there. Surprised.
It's justified.
It's heavily just... I don't think I've ever seen a movie handle something like this so badly. Especially one where it's supposed to be an empowering movie. It's like, no. You have completely missed the point.
I mean, I suppose it is empowering because it is beating men down. Because that's how it works. Oh. The absolute state of this film.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, it was a close call, but I'm pretty sure at this point, having spoken about it, Wonder Woman 84 is worse than Wonder Woman 1 at this point.
Yes.
It was close, but after talking about this one scene, it's consolidated.
Oh, there's a whole lot of ethical issues in this film.
Yeah.
But
and then the logic in it just makes no sense.
I don't think this film even knows what logic is. So, yeah, after that wholesome scene where Gal Gadot, handsome dude, and Harry, Gal Gadot, Harry, and Chris Pine end up doing the do. Maxwell Lord transforms himself into the Wishing Stone. Aha! And then we find out...
I was like, has nobody thought of doing this before?
I know, it's weird, right? Considering the sheer amount of civilizations it has gone through. Like, you'd expect someone to have done it first. Yeah. But no, I guess Pedro Pascal is the only one who thought, I want infinity wishes, please. Pretty please, thank you. Which are fair enough, I guess, like thousands of years, and he's the first one to go, I want to be you. Pinky swear. And then we got that stupid fucking montage of Kristen Stewart figuring out her strength. Oh, she opens the fridge first and it's like, whoa.
Yeah. She opens the fridge and it's like, fridge is just broken now.
Yeah, and to be honest, if this was it, I would be perfectly alright. I didn't need the workout scene afterwards. She's getting stronger. Point proven. Let's move on.
Very clear. Very clear.
Exactly. And also, if the transfer of abilities and power is instantaneous, as we have seen the stone to do, then how is she only figuring this out now? Very confused about that. Because technically, if she was having people notice her right after, the day after, then she should have been able to tell that she was this strong and being able to read with no glasses then and there, as opposed to gradually. So that makes the stone even more inconsistent. And then we get the wonderful scene of Gal Gadot waking up next to Harry and Chris Pine, and they kiss, and it's a lovely scene. It's wholesome. It's great. Forget about Harry, please, because we want this to be nice.
Yeah,
I'm sure
basically.
that's what Patty thought.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, but they don't actually have sex. It's implied. Shut up.
Are you telling me?
Right, so this is a PG-13 film. You can't actually have people naked, so that's why they've got clothes
Yeah.
on, you fucking retard.
But it's heavily implied they spent the night together.
And they're
If
making out pretty hardcore.
If you saw your long lost love after 70 years, I have to assume there'd be some sexy time happening.
Oh yeah. But see, the fact that there is a scenario where I would be okay with her kissing him, and it's one instance. Is when she realizes, holy shit, it's Steve, right in the museum, and she kisses him out of impulse, and it's like, holy shit, this actually isn't you physically. This is kind of weird. They're acknowledged, bang, established, moving on. No more sexual relations, just really being careful with what they are doing to affect this guy's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not heartless, I can accept a moment of passion.
Yeah.
Not a night of passion, though. But yeah, he's eating Pop-Tarts, making out, doing the do, and then we go to the gym scene, which is absolutely pointless.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, look at me, I can lift weights now.
Yeah, and then all the guys behind wondering, whoa, what the hell? Because men are weak, remember this. But okay, so after that, we get to a scene that I thought was really interesting, because it's just after Pedro got his wishing powers, and he goes to his business partner, Stag, and he's like, okay, so he knows he has to get the I wish for this to happen thing going. So I thought it was really interesting how he was able to maneuver the conversation in a really smart way, so that Stag wishes exactly what Max Lord wants.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really interesting concept, and I thought, ooh, so is this how he's going to be getting more wishes according to what he wants? But now apparently this is the only time he has to use his brain.
Yeah, the rest of the time it's just kind of like, ooh, don't you wish
that
I had this? And they're just like, yes, I do. I'll be like, no, what the fuck you on about?
Like, no, actually, what the fuck you on about? Piss off, man. Oh my god. Like, imagine if Max Lord came to Liverpool and tried to do that. It's like...
Wouldn't go over well.
No. But yeah, there was a lot of potential for Max to use his brain and really show how much of an intelligent character he is by trying to get other characters to wish what he wants. But unfortunately, this is the only scene of importance where that happens. But also, they constantly keep going back to the monkey's paw whenever they're trying to describe the rock, and this is not how the monkey's paw works. Because the monkey's paw, for anyone who's listening does not know, the way it works is that you wish for something, and you get it. You get exactly that. However, how you get it is going to be pretty fucked up. So, for example, if you have a lung disease and your wish was, oh, I wish I had new lungs so that I can live properly again, then how you get those lungs are going to be like, oh, your daughter got into an accident and those are the lungs you're getting. Like, that's how messed up it's going to be when you get the wish. It's not going to be like, oh, I pick and choose what I get, actually. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's not tit for tat or like that.
The only thing that you could say is that a monkey's paw type is the way Chris Pine comes back, but that's not how it's been set up to work, so it still makes no sense.
Yes, so that should be like the tagline for this film in the posters, you know? It's like Wonder Woman 84, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because the whole tit for tat thing is the thing that's been set up. It gives you what you want, but it takes something away.
Of equal importance, and that's not the monkey's paw. as well. So
it only happens like 45 minutes later, though.
Yeah, the thing it takes away from Wonder Woman is just drains her powers very slowly.
45 minutes later.
Yeah.
Gradually takes it away as well, because we want her to still be able to do things in this film.
Yeah, she's got to flip a car, a van,
Yeah,
a tank.
break a lock.
Yep. And literally make a fucking plane invisible.
See, this is my face whenever Patty Jenkins is trying to defend this film.
Yeah. My face is more the Clint Eastwood guy's face.
No! Oh, what a legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Max Lord manages to maneuver the conversation in a way that really benefits him and manages to take Stag out of the equation as well.
Yeah.
And then we get this really fucking weird closing montage with Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
because we had to do it in the first movie, now we have to do it to Chris Pine.
okay, so here's the
Make
thing.
him wear 80s movie clothes.
Is no one here worried about the fact that you guys are not concerned about how to return this body to its rightful fucking owner?
Yeah, it's
Nope.
just like, oh, let's dress you up and make you look how I want. Oh.
Not gonna lie though, Gal Gadot's outfit when they're walking to the planetarium is... Oh my gosh, she looks amazing in that outfit. I will give her that.
I love her outfit. I just feel really bad because poor Chris Pine doesn't even get to choose what he wears. She's the
And-
one that's going, nope, nope.
And poor Harry, he's not even conscious for this moment.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a clue what's happening. He doesn't realise that they're rifling through his clothes
Yeah.
or anything else that's happening.
Yep.
Him and his fucking fanny pack can just fuck off, really.
Did you notice that towards the end of the film, when they're at Christmas, he's actually wearing one of the outfits? The one
He's
that
wearing
the one that
Funny
she
you say
wanted
that,
him
David.
to wear.
Funny you actually say that. Because just as you started saying that, this is the frame I landed on.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
the one.
Just as you started saying that.
She's like, that's lovely. I'm like,
Sure.
if you want to wear it, sure. I'm sure it would look very nice on you, Gal Gadot.
I'm sure most things would look nice on her.
Yeah. I'm sure no things would look nice on her too.
Right. So, you remember at about 64 hours ago when we were talking about the 80s music?
Yeah.
So this montage of Chris Pine experiencing the 80s, going down escalators, the subways,
Where's
punk
the 80s
rock.
music?
Yes. And because this is
Perfect
such a...
moment for it.
because this is so mind-blowing to him, imagine if the editing was a bit faster and you got Tears for Fears going, you spin me right round, baby, right round, going and then with faster editing and him going, whoa, made it really fucking exciting instead of this opera shit just really dragging down the pace of everything.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
I do like the trash can scene where she's just like, no, that's just a trash can. This movie! Nope,
Yes.
it's just a trash can. There you go. There's a meme. When you watch Wonder Woman 84, nope, that's just a trash can. Maybe that was a bit mean. I don't care.
Oh, fucking hell, even U2, Desire, In the Name of Love or something like that, just fucking get a bit creative, man. Oh.
Wait, you're asking Patty Jenkins to be creative? I feel like that might be a bit of a stretch for her.
I know, right? Fucking hell. When I give Michael Bay more credit than Patty Jenkins, I never thought the day would come.
No.
No.
I mean, he did The Rock, which is still phenomenal. Transformers 1, pretty decent watch. Armageddon,
Not a fan.
pretty fun,
Not a
let's be
fan.
honest.
I'm not saying that I dislike all of his films. I'm just not a fan of Michael Bay.
I'm
I mean,
not a
fair
fan
enough.
of him either. As a person, I'm not a fan of him.
I'm
Oh
not
my
a fan
God,
of him
like,
either as a person or as a filmmaker.
I mean, yeah, neither of that either, but
this a bit of a tangent, but there was a story of Michael Bay and Sean Connery that came out around the time Sean Connery passed, and they were
Oh.
shooting the San Francisco chase, and Sean Connery was like, and this is when Michael Bay was like late 20s, early 30s, you know, really freshman filmmaker,
yeah.
and he was just really depressed on set, and Sean Connery just went, "What's wrong, boy?" And like he was like proper Kratos before Kratos, just calling Michael Bay boy on set. And Michael Bay was like, "Oh, do you know what? We're over time. We're running out of cash. I can't finish the film the way I want to because we don't have enough time or money." And then Sean Connery just went, "Come with me, boy." So they went to Disney Studios and just said, "Give him time and money." And then they went, "Okay, Sean, here's time and money."
I have
That's
heard
very
this
sweet.
story.
And I was
I
like,
haven't heard
Sound
that
very
story.
familiar.
Sean Connery,
that's
you are a
very sweet.
fucking Chad.
You are.
Oh,
It's still. I don't know. I still have issues with him sometimes.
that's fine.
Oh, did you see the video of his next movie, Ambulance?
No.
Oh, Michael Bay.
Yeah,
I have not.
there was like a huge explosion on set. Like there was some
Oh.
vehicles racing towards
Oh,
the camera,
God.
and there was this big, massive explosion, and a lot of people almost got injured.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
I didn't know that.
Cast members, crew, yeah, almost all hurt.
Well,
Yikes.
it only takes one of those accidents.
Like, no one was hurt, but it
Oh,
was very
that-
close.
That's
Very,
lucky.
That's
very
good.
close.
Jesus.
Whoa.
No one was hurt as far as I know, but it was very, very close from the footage that I've seen.
Jeez.
They definitely need to rethink their health and safety then.
I mean, it's a good thing it's about an ambulance, right?
I guess.
um. Yeah.
At least I think it's called Ambulance anyway.
Well, it should be now.
Yeah, definitely. That really shouldn't have been able to happen. That was really irresponsible.
I mean, sometimes, like, it's like I said earlier with Captain Picard, you know, you can do all the right things, but still end up losing. So freak accidents happen, especially when you're doing high-speed chases and all sorts of shit. One malfunction is all it takes.
Stuntmen get killed quite a lot.
Unfortunate reality, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Stuntmen, like, deserve so much more respect for the work they do that they just don't get,
Absolutely.
which sucks.
Definitely. Like I think it was Triple X, but they did a bridge, and the stuntman for that died doing the stunt.
I've heard something about that, but it really wouldn't surprise me. Triple X is absolutely fucking insane when it comes to stunts.
I know.
Yeah,
there
Triple
was,
X is like stunt porn.
I know. I believe there was a stunt woman who died on the set of Deadpool 2.
I
Oh my God, I
heard,
didn't
yeah.
know that one. Yikes.
I can't remember the specifics of it, but
Yeah.
I believe she was Zazie Beetz' double, and yeah, she passed away
Oh no.
and got into an accident on set, and then yeah.
Definitely like a life-threatening job.
Yeah.
Definitely deserve more recognition.
Hmm. But they are getting more recognition now, so
Oh, yeah.
slowly.
Good.
It's good.
I'd love for them to get like awards consideration, because
Yeah.
I do think that they should it be in the conversation, because there's so much work that goes into it, and they put a little life on the line at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was not a tangent I was expecting to have.
And then you've got Tom Cruise, who's just a fucking animal by himself. Just he's like doing things even stuntmen are scared of. Like, holy shit, Tom, chill. But yeah, like it's great because like there's a lot of stuntmen and stunt women on YouTube, like Amy Johnston, Scott Adkins, Eric Linden, Lauren Kim, and watching them talk about stunts and how they're created are just really fascinating to look at. So check them out. They're all on YouTube. So hey,
Cool.
Nice.
I will give them a watch.
yeah. But yes.
Oh.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I'm really sorry, guys, but I think
We're
we're gonna have to get going.
We're getting to the 11 mark. And
11
we
mark.
said that was.
Do you know what? 11:30. We are halfway through. Not even. We're just about to reach the 1 hour mark. So we still technically have
1 hour.
At least we got through 1 hour. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Holy shit, nearly 4 hours.
There's a lot to talk about.
Fucking too right that. Okay, we'll talk about when we can reconvene after we finish this recording. But for anyone who is still watching, you absolute
Thank you.
Chad. Thank you is the first thing I would say. And I need to stop doing that first. But yes, the remainder of the film will be looked at during some point and will be uploaded accordingly, just as we did with Wonder Woman Part 1. So look out for that. Until then, thank you for both of you for joining in this wonderful journey. So I look forward to finishing this off.
It'll be a lot of fun.
I'm excited.
So take care, everyone. Ta-da, toodoo, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Toodles.